It's my duty to please the booty.
And Muzz got mad at me, the coach said, he goes, Jesus Christ, why don't you just wear 2 nines? And I went, okay.
I'll switch the call.
Please never do that.
Yep. So...
What is up, everyone? Whit here. I'm with my boy Biz, and this is episode 517 of Spittin Chiclets, presented to you by New Amsterdam's own Pink Whitney, the pink lemonade-flavored vodka we all know, we all love. It's close to our hearts. It's always close to our mouth. An amazing weekend had by all, I hope, including some drinking of Pink Whitney, maybe on the beach, maybe on the lake, wherever you enjoy some libations. Hopefully you enjoyed Pink Whitney. And we got to mention the big old bottle, the 1.75 liter. That's what it's all about. That's the one in my house. That's the one I give out to friends and maybe guests who come over, Biz. I give them a big old bottle and say, enjoy this. Let me know what you think, and hopefully maybe you'll buy some more.
Take this. Tell all your fucking friends about it and buy it and support me. Get the fuck out of my house. My basement's flooding again.
It's Monday at 1:30. What's your problem?
Whit,
Can't have a drink?
You're getting good at those intros, buddy. You're high stepping out of the gate. So how was your weekend? What'd you do?
Not much. It was very, very relaxing. Sunday, there's an annual father-son golf tournament at Old Sandwich. It's awesome. And you can play with your dad and your son. If you had 3 sons, you can play with all of them. You both hit a tee shot, and then you hit the other person's tee shot. So I'd hit my dad's tee shot. He'd hit mine. Buddy, I felt so bad. He was pounding his driver. Dead straight. My dad's really gotten into golf in the past few years. He's 67, and his driver is just money, like 230, dead straight every time.
Yeah, grandpa swing. Like
buddy,
me?
He didn't. I think it was the 5th hole was the first time he could hit a second shot. My ball was off the planet. I just kept saying sorry. He's like, no more sorries, no more sorries. So we had a real tough start. But we had a blast, and it was a great time. We actually were paired with Barry Peterson, legendary NHLer who now does. He was part of the trade that brought Cam Neely from the Vancouver Canucks, and Barry Peterson went from Boston to Vancouver, and he was a great player, unreal setup man. Told some amazing stories. He's already told me he'll come on the podcast. The guy could tell a story. His son Ben was there, so that was great. Paired with those, and then another 2 guys, the Hoyts. Roger and his son Jackson. So it was just an awesome day, and you see all the little kids. There's a 10 and under group. Ryder's a little too young to bring, but maybe next year. But it was just nice to play with my dad and have a great day. You know, we drove down together, drove back up. It's just one of those things you just really appreciate, getting to spend time with your father and being competitive. And I just felt bad. I was horseshit letting him down, but we had a blast.
How's Old Sandwich looking? Like that's where you went, right? It's just like pristine golf course.
Just beautiful. Just probably my favorite place on earth, I'd say. When I go down there, as my buddy the Crow Show, who's a member, who pretty much not made me, but told me you got to join here. It never rains there. You can go down there and it can be pouring rain and no golf for the day, but it's not raining, if you know what I'm saying. It's just an experience to be down there. They got this men's locker room that's huge, and the staff there, it's world class. Everything about it. So I love getting time.
But no,
and I'm not down there as
there.
much now. I'm not down there as much.
They're not giving us a sandbagger there, though.
Oh, no. But I think I mentioned one time. I think I mentioned one time to one of the guys who works there, Nicky, I was like, what about if I could like film myself golfing and then like draw? And he's like, that ain't happening. So I totally understand that. But for a sandbag around
is
here.
Is it like the Masters where it's like a cult? Like the top guys at the cult? No.
No. We don't have guys walking around killing squirrels that make noise, as Justin Thomas told us in that interview. But funny enough, before we get into your weekend, I think the most exciting part of my weekend was walking into the locker room right after it ended, and there was lunch out there, beautiful spread, burgers, sausages, hot dogs, chicken, just the cooks out there on the grill. But as I walked into the locker room, the guys were getting in the blocks for the men's 100-meter final.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been into the Olympics a little bit. My wife watched the show. I think it's Sprinter on Netflix. It's been following around the best sprinters leading up to these Paris games. Dude, this guy, Noah Lyles, and it was a guy, Thompson from Jamaica. But I had no volume.
What a finish.
Oh, my God. And
they both deserve the gold. Like, fuck this 1,000th of a second. Like,
are those you guys and everyone deserves a trophy, guy? Because I know what you're saying.
I'm
But he
saying
won.
fucking line them back up. Let's go again for the gold then. I don't care, but that's a
but
tie.
Biz, here's the crazy thing I want to get his name right. I apologize to everyone right now. His name.
Oh, there's so many names I'm going to miss
His
in
name
this one.
is Kashane Thompson. And the most wild part of it was that when you look at the final, listing in first, second, third place, he has the same time. Like, because it was 0.005 their time is the same. But it's all about the beneath the neck. So your shoulders, your torso, that's what has to cross the line to have it
Yes.
count. So Thompson's foot got over first, but his torso wasn't. So what a lean by this Lyles guy.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
The last 8 strides he took, the push that he made, and to time it perfectly where the push off his one leg propelled him with his chest. Based off of that action alone, sure, give him the gold medal, and the other guy gets the pigeon toss and gets the silver. But that has to be something that was coached to him.
I was going to ask you the same question. Do you think that's but the timing
You know
to
what it
know
is,
when
Whit?
to do it?
It's the details.
Hey,
it's the
that
little
inch.
You gotta crawl for that inch.
You're gonna die for that inch. What a
Great
movie.
speech. What a movie. Andy
fucking
Government
speech
Sunday.
that is. But
I'm gonna watch
Biz,
that after
what
this.
was amazing was 40 meters into the 100-meter, he was in last place. So my wife was mentioning that I think the 200 is his best event because he just gets going. And out of the gates, he's not great. But the announcer...
Well, that was like Usain Bolt. He was not a great starter either. And I was talking to my buddy Jeff Jacobson. He said that if who won was it Johnson, the old guy? I think he might have got caught for cheating.
Ben Johnson, I believe.
Maybe it was Ben Johnson. His time would have been like last in that heat. Like, that's just how much faster it's gotten and how the competition has gotten so good where these guys are now like all freaks of nature, like tuned up Ferraris, ready to get it out of the gate. But I was watching even that girl from the woman who won the 100
St.
meter. St. Lucia. But by the way, bud, when those girls walk out,
oh my God, the swagger.
The sweat, like, they are so hot. The first one that they brought out, she was an American. Like, I have a crush on her. Like, I have to follow her on Instagram or something like that. But their bodies are just like they're stunning.
Temples. They're temples. I said to Brie, I said, look at the butts on these girls. She's like, yeah, they're sprinters. You don't think they're gonna have big, strong, nice booties?
Just the nicest turd cutters in the league. But that in the volleyball, the women's volleyball.
Yeah. I mean, and I actually was interested because as you see, like, the speed of sports get greater and the size and like how much bigger people are year by year by year, I looked up the world record, but Usain Bolt still has the 100-meter world record.
Yeah.
So that was 2009, I think, when he did it. He was laughing at guys when he was winning. I think it was I don't remember his Olympics. London, maybe?
I think he looked back at one point. He started
was looking back,
backpedaling.
laughing at him.
In the third one, he was backpedaling.
So the fact is that as people get stronger, like, and I guess to be crowned the fastest human in the world with the 100-meter, basically, you're the fastest person in the world. But Usain's chilling, and he's like, no, buddy, ain't nobody touched my record. So
well,
I'm the guy.
he was also 6'5".
Yeah.
And the way that he could extend his leg and just like, the way that he ran, that's another fascinating thing about watching the replays, seeing how some guys get it done, where you get like the stiff German guy and he's like he's going, and when you see some of these Jamaicans, they're so fluid, they look like gazelles out there. I'll tell you what's not athletic though, and what should not be an Olympic sport: shooting. Accuracy shooting. I'm not talking about the Winter Olympics when they got to like ski around for kilometers on end, and then like maybe you're out in the wilderness and then you got to hit a buffalo to feed your family. Like, that is some type of athleticism. But to walk up, load a pistol, and I don't know if you saw the Turkish guy who ended up winning the bronze. He's got a t-shirt on. He's got a little beer belly. He's got his other hand in his pocket. He's got nothing covering his other eye. He's got these bifocals on. He just wheels up, and boom, he gets an Olympic medal. Like, that is something to me that belongs at the outdoor games. Yeah, load your gun and shoot a target, and then you'll win a prize or whatever. Maybe you win lifetime supply of beef jerky.
Or like a teddy bear, like at the carnival.
But how is darts not an Olympic sport, from an accuracy perspective, but yet you can load a gun and shoot a fucking target. And those were some of the cool stories, because then the girl, I think the female shooter who won the gold, like she looked pretty fly, and like her picture and video was going online everywhere. She went viral basically. But I think it's ridiculous that is an Olympic sport and darts is not.
Dude, today they had on like a man-made whitewater rafting course, and people in like what are the single one? A kayaks, like there, it's like a whitewater rafting.
I think that should be a sport.
I mean, I don't know. It felt very X Game-ish to me, and I know you brought up the point that a lot of these things are brought over from the X Games, but I mean, they're going around like poles on a fake whitewater rafting course. It didn't seem like what the Greeks had in mind at the Olympics.
Well, you're battling natural elements and you're using like upper body strength. So
okay.
And you're having to attack this course that it's different for everyone. The way that the water might be running on that and now are they doing so on a natural stream, or is it something
No, it was like built.
Oh, it was man-made. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, maybe I'm on the fence about that one.
Okay.
So we were at dinner the other night watching I think it was the 200 meters. So now that we're in this Olympic talk, and we were at this place called Dovetail, great restaurant in Vancouver. Pasha recommended it. He hit it out of the park. I've been there like 2 times a week since I've been here.
He finally did something.
Yeah, exactly. And the woman serving us behind the bar, she asked if you had 6 months to train in every resource possible known to man, what Olympic sport you think you can compete in? And obviously for you, it's other than hockey. What do you think that you could compete in where you would actually not look like a fool doing it? 6 months you got to train.
About 7 days ago, I mentioned to you my swimming and how solid I am at that. I had close to 1,000 people send me a video on Twitter of an Olympic swimmer versus normal people. And I'll send this over to you. The people dive into the pool.
I want to watch it.
Biz, they dive into the pool, and the Olympic swimmer stands on the board for 7 seconds and then dives in, and they're doing the breaststroke, and he gets there like he pretty much wins it, if not ties the first. But I'm talking, he gets in the water, and you see him like a shark ripping through. So I take back my I could be in the Olympics for swimming. Turns out I was not correct. I don't think if you gave me 6 months, I could. I guess my best option would be shooting, because if I went for 10 hours a day with an AR-15 and I sat on a range, I would like to think I could compete for a medal. Now, there are competitive shooters out there right now screaming.
No, they're not.
Smashing the steering wheel.
6 months, it would for sure, anybody listening, 95% of people would answer shooting would be the one that you could have a good day. You're calm going in. That's that's probably the hardest part, is staying, like, keeping your nerves. There's no pressure on you going in. You've started this 6 months ago. If anything, there's more pressure on the people who've been doing it their whole lives.
Give me 6 weeks.
Well, I would say I would say 6 months is a fair amount of time. Someone else answered the horse jumping, because these horses.
I don't know, man. That's a lifelong thing of being on those horses. And
buddy, those fucking horses that they're competing with, they're like $5-10 million. It's like stepping behind you need to learn the commands. It could probably take you 6 months to do it. Yeah, you're going over this one. Maybe you lean a little bit forward over the jump. Maybe you pull on the harness this way. All you need to do is memorize all the commands.
I think
those horses.
I think that would be harder. Like, if you're talking about how expensive the horse is and how well trained the horse is, I mean, you could say the same of how expensive
they
an
know
F1
English.
car is.
You could talk to them in English. That's how well trained these things are.
Well, what if it's like a German horse and then you got to know German?
No, they know every language. They listen to Rosetta Stone in their stalls. So that's why they're so expensive. No, I'm serious.
If you got into whatever these F1 cars are, 50 million, just because the car's expensive and you know how to press down on the gas and the brake, I don't think you're competing in an F1 race. I think this is very similar. These horses and the person riding them, they have a deep connection. They trust one another, right? Like, who's going to trust you sitting on their back besides an OnlyFans model? I don't know.
You're an idiot. Speaking
What'd
of
you do this weekend?
Speaking
besides
of backstroke,
crush the gross grind.
Right, we'll get into that, but we got to shut out. You mentioned the swimming element. Summer McIntosh, Canadian girl.
Yeah, I saw that.
First time any athlete has ever won 3 golds for Canada at the same Olympics. She's got 3 golds and a silver. We had Penny Alexiak a few years ago. Now we got Summer McIntosh. So I would say as far as swimming, like Canada's at the top. I would say Australia's top tier for swimming. And then like other countries falling behind. But Canada's leaving its mark, man. That's unbelievable for her.
U.S. is, I mean, let's not forget the U.S. Katie
Ledecky. Because they had Phelps.
Well, this woman, Katie Ledecky, she dominates every year.
Oh, okay. That's another one. I didn't know who that was. I had one more Canadian to shout out. Did you see Ethan Katzberg, a guy from the island? He does the hammer throw. And he, on his first throw, I think he ended up beating any next person. The second place person was 8 meters behind him. He got up there, buddy. I'll send you the clip of how he throws it.
Is that the thing with it that they spin around?
Yes. Yeah. It's got the little like metal rope and then the ball on the end of it. I'm going to send you this video. So Ethan Katzberg, and he ended up winning a gold medal for Canada. So I thought that was pretty cool. First throw, and then you basically got to shut it down the rest of the time.
I was watching that, not that exact like time when he was competing, but that event. And I said, I mean, that thing's whipping through the air. That hits you in the head, you're dead. But I noticed that the nets are very tight, so that if they don't throw it online, it's going to hit the net and drop. But even the people out in the field, you got to be on your A game. It's like sitting in a very common seat to get a foul ball at a baseball game. Like, you can't be down on your phone. You got to have eye on the prize. Make sure you don't catch a Louisville baseball right to the head. I guess Louisville makes the bats, not necessarily the balls. But kind of a scary event for the people out in the field who have no athletic ability to dodge a giant hammer.
Well, it's like when NHL never used to have a glass at one point.
Or the net.
Right? The people,
or the net.
Yeah, or the net. So people are just eating it right in the face. Somebody had to learn the hard way for them to figure out to put the nets up. But that thing, I mean, a puck is one thing, but getting that big metal ball in the noggin, it's like the scene from Braveheart.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking about when he whips that thing from the horse. Whoosh.
Yeah. As far as my athleticism, went down grouse grind, shedded 4 minutes of time. I went 59
That's
minutes.
Impressive.
Did run into some Chiclets fans there. And in the meantime, I've actually, in the last few weeks, been reaching out to Connor Bedard to try to do some video with them where we do some training element. You know, do a day with them, wake up, do a protein shake, go to the gym, go to the skill session, maybe work on the shot. I think we've landed on one competition, and we're going to end up doing the grind against each other. So I don't know what type of time Bedard's putting up. I would imagine with the quadzillas he's got on him, he would do pretty good. So we're gonna go at it at some point and film a content piece where Pasha. I don't know how Pasha's gonna film it because I don't think he's in very good shape. He might have to take the gondola up to the grouse grind and then maybe like come down a little bit to try to get some good shots. But
and he'll have like Louis Vuitton loafers on trying to do it too, because he'll be going right out somewhere, that weasel. Now, you mentioned Bedard's monster Sidney Crosby, Martin St. Louis quads, but I mean, you're a big human yourself. You don't have my out of bounds stakes, and you really, really have the stride length advantage over him. So
that's not true, but not yet.
What do you mean? You're 6'3".
I know, but I'm very tight. I don't have good range of motion. Why are you laughing? I'm serious. That was my problem.
Because as we began this recording right prior to starting, you mentioned that now yoga's getting involved in your life. Wicked lot of farting, as RA said. So now maybe the flexibility will come back. How is yoga now for you?
So I took this awesome class. Actually, the last time Dion Phaneuf was in town and Alicia Cuthbert was walking out of this place, and I didn't realize it was a yoga studio. It's called Jaybird. And, you know, there was a lot of girls in there. So I think you're naturally, as a guy, you're intimidated. I'm not very flexible. I don't want to go to this class. I don't want to be a nuisance and a disruptor where I'm looking around at every movement. But they have a bunch of different style of classes, and they have this introductory one where it moves very slow. Like, I've been to yoga classes assuming, hey, this is the introductory one, and you know, I'll at least be able to have time to grab my foot to make a quad stretch. But they're just moving so fast, and they're barking in the mic, and you're overwhelmed. This one was awesome. It was slow moving. They actually gave you a lacrosse ball even on the way in. So there's times where you're stopping and you're rolling out your glutes. Relax, roll out your glutes.
Like, take that deep breath. Let the muscle sink into the ball.
Yeah, and so you weren't just like running around stretching the whole time, getting up and like all these motions. Like sometimes you were chill, you'd able to catch your breath, and then you jump right back into it. So I'm trying to become more limber. I'm trying to activate all these also small muscles in my body that I haven't turned on for a while. Another reason why I did another class called Legree West. It's this form of Pilates. Like my buddy Dan Sutton, his girlfriend Barbie, I don't know if she's the creator of it or one of the creators of it. Pilates is, in my opinion, a little bit more difficult. This has like a different reformer where you can add and take off weight, and it tells you on the mat where, like there's numbers on it, where to put your foot, where to put your knee. You can do upper body exercises from it, lower body. The biggest thing though is I would say 50% of the stuff I was having a hard time doing. Like I couldn't even really get my body in that position. And then not only that, but then become vulnerable in it, where all of a sudden you're extending it and you're doing a bridge and you only have one leg on the reformer, and that's what's keeping you stabilized. Where no, I would have to put two and I wouldn't go as far out. But the next day your core is done. So I've been starting to do yoga. I'm going to try to do it 3 times a week. And this Legree class I'm going to do every Wednesday with my buddy Dan. So I'm just like, I'm going to become this finely tuned athlete. And I wanted to go the next level for Chiclets Cup. Like I didn't want to leave any regrets on the table about how I didn't take care of my body. And I'm a fucking healthy scratch. So to me as a leader, that is setting the tone for the rest of the group. I think message has been received to most of them. The only guy that, and we can get into Chiclets Cup talk, is Con Man, who is, from my understanding, completely out of shape. And he is the last man on the forward roster right now who does have a spot on the team, but could lose it if he doesn't come into camp in shape.
And he's so skilled that it's like, we need you, but we almost won't be able to have you if you can't just put the next month towards getting your body ready and primed to participate in this. Because your hands and your vision and your shot, yeah, it's one thing, but bud, you got to be able to run around.
Nobody's questioning his skill set and his vision and his hockey abilities, but every Chiclets Cup he's shown up, he's been 10 pounds heavier. We're not fat shaming here. If it's hard too, right? Because he lives on the Rock. He lives out in St. John. So anytime there's sun out there, these guys hit the bottle, and I don't blame them. They only get 6 weeks of sun the whole entire year. But what do you want? Do you want a championship or do you want to enjoy your summer? And I think that you can have both.
To enjoy his summer.
I think but no more drinking. Maybe the non-alcoholic beers for a little bit. And if I don't see any type of, we need to see some video reassuring that he's actually taking this seriously. Because Terry Ryan has informed me he's running every day. He's down to like $180, best shape of his life. Every other guy we have on our roster, same thing. All these guys are playing for the national team, just won gold medals. So Con Man, it's right now his spot to lose. But as of right now, our roster is solidified for Chiclets Cup, and we're going in with a solid group.
All right, I love hearing that. Now, when was the last time you had drinks? Are you still? Is it September 1 will be the cutoff?
That's the cutoff.
But not like belligerent. It's just a couple socials with your buddies. It's not like big nights right now.
Couple glasses of wine, couple tequila sodas, and then usually in bed at I'm getting tired. The max I can go is like 12 o'clock, and then my eyes start shutting because I'm doing 2-a-days. I even worked out Sunday twice. I did the yoga class, and then we went for a little jog. So we're on it, buddy. We're on it.
And what are you eating for lunch on these days? Because like I'm at the point right now where every morning I'm making 2 eggs, some turkey sausage on 1 piece of bread. Right? So that's not bad. But then I need a second piece of bread that's covered in Teddy's peanut butter. I don't think peanut butter is the healthiest thing in the world, but this is a healthy version of peanut butter. Then for lunch, I'm having a sandwich. So we're now at 4 pieces of bread through lunch. Now at dinner, I've been keeping it lighter. I did sushi the other night. Well, unfortunately, last night my wife made lasagna. If everyone remembers the dreaded lasagna incident of 2024 from earlier this NHL season, she didn't trust me with the cooking, so she made that. I had 3 pieces. So that's a lot of carbs for me on a Sunday, but it's kind of where I'm at because I enjoy them. I'm not I'm not going to cut back on the things I enjoy to try to get like an ab, okay? I'm not, forget 6 packs. I'm looking for a 1-pack. I'm looking for like buying a 40 in the store and crushing it. I just want one, but I'm not willing to not have sandwiches I love with chips, and I put chips in my sandwiches.
Yeah, but carbs are a killer because they do tire you out a little bit too. Do you not get tired?
I'm always tired though. I can't be more tired than I am. So I don't even think that the carbs are affecting me. It's the 3 kids that are affecting the tiredness. Now, would you ever do a fast? Because I think I'm going to do before. I've done it before, and I was the most miserable bastard you could ever be around. It was a 3-dayer. I think there was about 12 like juices I drank, 12 to 15 juices in those 3 days.
Well, that's not a true fast.
I wanted to stab myself.
Were the drinks, I think if they're above a certain amount of calorie or a certain amount of sugar, it spikes your insulin. So a true fast, you're not supposed to spike your insulin at all. I think the only thing you're supposed to consume is maybe like bone broth and like a Himalayan salt in your water. So I was thinking about doing I was thinking about trying a 5-dayer. And you mentioned the carbs. Like ever since I got back on the bottle at the start of summer, right after we were done at TNT, I noticed that the booze starts putting the pounds on me quick now. That's one thing that never really happened in the past. So that's why I'm going to try to cut out majority of carbs and then also try a fast when I drive down at the end of a summertime. I'm going to try to do a 5-dayer. They say after 3 days, you go to like ketosis, where it starts like eating at everything, all the bad cells, like ones that could eventually be cancerous. And by day 5, it's like eating at ones in your brain where your mental clarity is like it's never been before. Why are you laughing? Have you not heard?
I haven't heard of a fast just eating away at things in the brain to make you think clearer and better. I just don't want to be around you or do any recording with you or talk to you if you're doing a 5-day fast. Because I'm telling you, my 3-day fast was a disgrace. And my thought process on the entire thing is, yes, I got to start training. And shout out to I'm going to say.
Fuck you. I got the
hold
backup.
on.
All right.
I believe you. It just sounded funny. You had like little fingers on your brain on the outside of your skull. It just looked funny. I mean, it sounds like you're describing like meningitis of the skull or the brain. I don't even know if that's the correct term. But Biz, my thought is that life is too short for me to just like spend 4 days like fasting. It's just I don't know. It could be longer if you fast more. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Is life can be longer if you treat your body properly. And they say by fasting and doing these things regularly, it'll help for longevity. So you're saying life is too short. I get that. But it's almost like saying, okay, well, is 5 days of pain and sacrifice worth adding this much longevity to your life? If I'm 90, no. Although I did hear of a guy that Barry Peterson knows well. He plays at Salem Country Club, one of the best courses in the state. This guy's 93 years old. He plays with him every week. He made a friggin' eagle this year. 93. The only way that I want to be around at 93 is if I'm playing golf. I've said if I'm 72...
He's probably like hacking darts and cigars, drinking whiskey every day.
Oh, yeah. Those are the people who live the longest. RA's going to outlive us by 20 years. It's like the people who have their windows up with a cigarette and a Dr. Pepper on the way to work at 7 a.m. They're living till they're be 100.
Well, I guess it's just me here. He's doing our obituaries.
Hello, everybody. Whit's dead.
Yeah. Oh, Biz just croaked. And Grinelli went to a... Oh, no, I got nothing else. Okay, here, I got it. All right. I'm going to read this off. Hourly benefits of fasting. So stage 0, they have the 0 to 12 hour mark. Digesting food, insulin peak. Stage 1, 12 to 18 hours. Fat burning begins, insulin falling. Stage 2, 18 to 24 hours. Ketosis begins. Glucogen rising. I don't know what the fuck that is. Stage 3, 24 hours to 48 hours. Autophagy? What's PHAGY? Begins brain cleaning. Stage 4, 48 hours to 54 hours. HGH surges, inflammation falls. That's another one I forgot. So as you keep going, the longer you go, the inflammation leaves your body. Stop
This
looking
is
at
after the brain cleaning.
I just said brain cleaning on
Can my
stage
cleaning
3.
ladies clean my brain, or do I have to do this?
Stage 5, 54 hours to 72 hours. Insulin sensitizing autophagy peak. I don't know if this this
You're getting
autophagy
canceled for this. You're getting canceled because of your thing.
the
My
cleanse is-
autophags were just amazing.
What's help me out with this word? Auto and then PHAGY. That's foggy.
Atafuji.
Autophagy. Autophagy peak. Stage 6, 72 plus hours. Stem cells forming, immune cells refreshing. So it's eating away at all those bad cells once you hit the 3-day mark. So the longer you can sustain that, not only does it eat at the brain cells, but it eats at the body cells, and inflammation's gone. I don't even need to do yoga. I just need to do a fast. It's all about
you just
inflammation.
need to learn how to read. I'm picturing like the Mucinex commercials with like the little green germy boogers,
Yes.
and like those are on your brain, and there's a vacuum up there as you're fasting, just sucking them all up.
Yeah, and it's like an OnlyFans girl with a little cleaning lady outfit on.
I
And
do
she's-
have to break this news though, that TR sent Mikey Grinelli a picture of Conman who's down 17 pounds. So maybe our information is incorrect.
But he's got a gut. Oh, he's partly in the text, and there's a photo, and he's still got 2 chins. So I don't give a
His
fuck.
beard looks awesome though.
I know it looks unbelievable, but he's got a bit of a gullet there. I want to see some definition in his fucking cheekbones. Right?
Hey, I want to mention I had like 50
Okay,
people
so here we
reach
go.
out.
More information has surfaced. He's down 17 pounds from being up 90 pounds.
No, he says I'm kidding. He says,
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Now
If
we're
you
now we're
gain
poking
90,
too much fun.
If you gain 90 and then lose 17,
All right,
it's
that's
just
it. We're doing a big deal selects fast. We're starting it. We're starting it
No.
now all the way till the
the
camp
coach
starts.
isn't a part of that. Biz, I had a lot of people reach out to be my trainer, which I really appreciate, but they're all like scattered across North America. I've mentioned to a couple of them I need to be able to go to a place where the trainer is. I can't, like, because if all these people are like, we'll send you workouts, it's like, no, I'm still alone and have to go.
Well, that's
work out.
that's discipline, buddy. That's the.
I don't have that.
Well,
I have
find
it in
it.
other aspects of my life that I need it, my family and my kids but I don't have it for that. I don't.
Stop eating carbs and start working out on your own. Shut the fuck
Hey,
up. Yes,
also-
you can do it. Hey, actually, going back to the Olympics, did you see the big dick pole vaulter who got?
Oh my God,
he
his
got
hog stopped him
disqualified
from
for
being a gold medal winner.
his hog. His hog, I think, left him off the medal list.
His
Like
hog.
he was far clear over that thing, and his big dong just hit the bar, and that was it. But is it worth missing out on the medal to go viral for the fact that you have this enormous hog?
If you're single. Because if you're married, it's like, all right, well, I don't even care that everyone knows I have an enormous piece.
Imagine
but I
you're
just
Raya-
lost the gold medal. If this guy's single and like on social media and he's looking to wheel and deal, he's laughing right now.
And you
He's
know what
like,
his
I
name
won the
is?
gold medal in
His
whacking.
name's Anthony Amaretti. That's what his name is. The French, or no, that's kind of Italian the way I said it.
I thought you said
Amarati?
it Spanish.
Imagine your Raya profile picture, you over the vault and your big beanbag just taking the bar off.
They can't tell what's different, the pole vault or your hog. It's like the girls are like, which one's which? And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna win this game. This is way off topic. Somebody sent this to me before. But if you go back in time to our little presidential assassination discussion,
Right.
have you ever heard all of the, and I'm sure there's a lot of people right now like, Whit, why are you saying this? A lot of people know this, but I know you don't. Do you know the similarities between JFK being assassinated and Abraham Lincoln being assassinated?
No, I love hearing
can I
this weird
read you
shit.
these?
Yeah, let's go.
So this is an Instagram reel. I'm sure it's been everywhere. This one is how.vintage. So it's a video. I'll just read it because it has closed captions. Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John F. Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. Abraham Lincoln elected president in 1860. John F. Kennedy elected president in 1960. Both were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both wives lost a child while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday. Both presidents were shot in the head. Now it gets really weird. Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, was born in 1939. Both assassins were known by their 3 names. Both names are composed of 15 letters. Now hang on to your seat. Lincoln was shot at a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car called Lincoln, made by Ford. Both people who assassinated the presidents were assassinated before their trials. Here's the kicker. A week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe. And Lincoln was shot in a theater, and the assassin ran to a warehouse. Kennedy's was shot from a warehouse, and the assassin ran to a theater.
Oh my God.
Pretty fucked up, right? I'd never heard that. I'm sure many people had, but that's wild, no?
That's insane. There's actually one more you forgot. They were both auto faggies. Buddy, that is crazy. Although I feel like that's made up. They gotta.
No, if that is completely fake, then I'm just the biggest sucker on the internet.
Oh
But
yeah, it's like the Stamco.
Both of them had their brains cleaned out by a vacuum, so it worked out.
Oh
it worked
no!
out great.
Oh no!
I wasn't even
don't
saying that like they got shot in the head. I was just talking about the fasting. That was not a good joke. That was not my premise on the joke.
At least you're admitting that you didn't mean it on purpose, and we can keep it in.
I didn't.
Last thing I'll say before we throw it over to an unbelievable interview, guys. We had the opportunity to sit down with Teemu Selanne. We did the Sandbagger a few months ago with him in San Diego and JR, so both Hall of Famers. Go watch that one. But we got to talk about his long, amazing career, how he was brought up in Finland, and how it all shook out. So we hope you guys enjoy that. I think it was about an hour and a half we got of his time.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I think he was gassed because we just kept asking him all these questions. But guys, over 1,400 games. I think he had finished with 1,451. That's not including playoffs. 6 Olympics. This guy went to 6 Olympics. How is that even possible?
I know. I was thinking, I'm like, that's 24 years. I don't get it, but I think at one point the Winter Olympics were only 2 years apart. I think there was a 92 and a 94. I don't even know if he was in both of those ones, but the guy is an all-time legend. And going back and looking at the YouTube of our Sandbagger with him and Ronak when we got dusted, I think the top comment is Teemu Selanne is the coolest person in the world. And I had got the chance to play with him. I knew that. But then this interview, even if you watch the Sandbagger, you learn so much more about this guy and what made him tick and how great of a human he actually is. So we're very excited to bring you that. Do you want to throw it to that right now, Biz?
No, well, I was just going to talk quickly. And just to go back to Teemu quickly, like, I envy the way that he like wakes up and he approaches and attacks life. Like, it is just, there's no bad days. He's always smiling, laughing. And he's just such a positive guy to be around. So even just from the Sandbagger and getting to talk to him, it just puts a smile on your face. So we can't thank him enough, and we hope you guys enjoy that. We've had some awesome interviews come out over this off time, and I know some people might be taking a break from hockey, but I hope a lot of you are able to go back and enjoy them. Like, Struds was awesome.
Yeah.
We started with Mess, so the list goes on. So last thing I was going to say was, I'm not one to go up and like say what's up to a celebrity, but in Vancouver, since I've been here, I've been seeing Will Sasso. You know Will Sasso
know who that is?
Oh, the guy from MTV, or not MTV, Mad TV.
If you said Much Music, I was gonna throw up.
No. He's a hilarious comedian. I want to say he's about 50. He's from BC originally, just outside of Vancouver, but. I know who this is. I know who this is. Dude, he was Mad TV to me was the heydays of Mad TV were better than any SNL. That might be the worst hot take going. If you clip that, I might get torched for it. But like high-end Mad TV during that era was better than SNL in my opinion. So I kept seeing him around, never said hi. And then I do my nightly routine. I work hard all day, and then I go for a Dairy Queen dipped cone.
Good
Can
for
we talk-
you. I'm glad you're doing that.
Can we talk about a Dairy Queen dip cone? Is that not the most underappreciated snack of all time?
Well, I like blizzards, but if like the blizzard machine's broken, a dip cone, dude. Oh,
Not a large, not a small, a medium dip cone, right? Like nighttime the sun doesn't go down to 10 here, so I go there about 9:30, and I sit out front. They got these 2 chairs. I
you
sit
smoke
there and
beforehand to get your hunger.
You think I don't?
You think he doesn't?
So I get baked as hell. I go get my dip cone, and I was just sitting there eating it like a fudge kid, ice cream all over my face. And sure as shit, for the 3rd time since I've been here, Will Sasso and his dog walked by him, and I think he said it was his wife. So I said, buddy, I said, what's up, man? I said, I do a hockey pod. I said, I do, so not to come off like a complete pigeon, like I'm actually a working civilian. I said, hey, man, great to meet you. Huge fan of yours. I know you're a bit of a hockey fan. And I thought he was anyway, because then I mentioned I worked for the Coyotes and they moved, and he had no idea that the team had moved. So probably not the biggest hockey fan. So either way, said what's up to him. I thought it was cool. I didn't know that if you were a Will Sasso fan, and I don't know if you go up and say hi to celebrities when you see them, but I kind of succumbed to it because he was so close that I had to do it.
No, I get that. And you'd seen him so many times, but I'm curious. You said he was walking his dog, but then you said it was his wife? Like,
no, he
was
was he was walking his dog, and his wife was next to him. She had a dog as well.
Okay.
I said he was with someone who I think what he said was his wife. Maybe I said it so fast.
I started the show
words.
Presumed Innocent, Biz. Very good show so far. I've really enjoyed Jake Gyllenhaal. He's a district attorney in Chicago, and then another district attorney is murdered. It's a girl, and it's just kind of all about trying to find her killer and the case and the politics involved. Apple TV, so far so good. I'm 2 episodes in, so I was kind of looking for something for me and the wife. Cal has slept through the night 3 nights in a row. Amazing news there. Asleep at 7:30, up at 6. That counts. That 100% counts. And it's actually not bad, because then you wake up and you can get a bunch of stuff done before the maniacs come down. Wyatt did something to me this week. Told me I was disrespectful.
Grinnell, confirm your show. What's the name of it again? He said 10 out of 10 show.
Yeah, Presumed Innocent, Apple TV.
Okay.
So that was very, very good. Kind of crazy that Riders hockey will be starting pretty soon. I mean, they go back to school. Get this. So they go back to school the Wednesday before Labor Day. You go to school Wednesday, you have a half day Thursday, and no school Friday. And then it's a long weekend, and you don't go to school till Tuesday. Explain to me why school can't just start Tuesday, and you got to have Wednesday full day, Thursday half day, so that then you can't even go away or do anything.
They're sitting there in the conference room deciding this and saying, how can we fuck with Ryan Whitney?
Well, it's not just me. It's every parent they're fucking with.
Probably more you so.
Every parent they're fucking with. What a waste of time and energy for bring these kids in for a day and a half, only to then have 5 days off and then go back to school. Like, just start school the day after Labor Day in the United States. I don't know what happened to Canada. And by the way, this is my area of the country. Down south has already started. They start like now. They're very early starts. But if you're going to start right around Labor Day, maybe just do it the day after Labor Day. I don't know. Maybe I'm bitching and I sound like an annoying pain in the ass. I know I have before, and I will again.
Don't even bring them. Just say, fuck, we're not coming.
I said that. And then, you get the old, like, you can't miss the first day of school. And it's like, all right, well, if it's me, yeah, we're not going to the first day and a half of school. But I actually understand he'll be in first grade. Like, you would feel maybe a little weird that all the kids like knew each other for a quick minute before the little like mini vacation for Labor Day. But his hockey season starts relatively soon. So this is first year Mites, Boston Junior Terriers, second team, like B team. I'm the assistant
If you need anybody
coach.
to give him fighting lessons, I'll volunteer. I'll spend a little time with him.
You'd be a great role model. Oh, by the way, I think a lot of feedback laughing and saying Biz just has no clue talking about his ability to meditate while he's a dad with kids running around.
No.
I never doubt you, because you've proven people wrong your entire life. But
those
a
are
lot
probably
of
the
fans,
anti-vaxxers.
a lot.
They don't like my ways of raising kids. They don't like meditation. Your kid wants to cry, you just block them out.
Hey, kids, you got to get
Silence
rid of
the
those
haters.
artifaggies. Okay, Coach Biz. Can I have your OnlyFans password? Sure.
No, I've never subscribed. I'm not fucking paying to see a girl's tit. Are you nuts? Have you not been on the internet?
So we're going to throw this to Teemu Selanne right now.
Sure.
And once again, amazing interview. Thank you for all the feedback. We also did Bobby Holik this week. That'll be dropping. And guys, these Zdeno Charas, Bobby Holiks, Patrick Eliash's, guys who grew up behind the Iron Curtain when communism was still a thing, their stories, and I know I'm pumping up Bobby Holik, we're going to Teemu Selanne, but we have Holik coming now soon, and we were all blown away. One of the best interviews we've done this year, but right now, it's a true legend of the game, the Finnish Flash, Teemu Selanne. Hope you enjoy. Before we go any further, guys, it's Whit, and I need to talk to you about Viator. The most amazing way to travel is through Viator. Actually, our boy Pasha, the Deranged Devils fan, he's going on an amazing excursion to Europe. He's going to Stockholm, he's going to Lake Como, he's going to Nice, and he's really used Viator to help him plan everything. Hotels, travel, sightseeing, doesn't matter what you want to do, Viator is there to help. Viator is a tool that you can use to plan and book amazing travel experiences around the world. Their app and website make it easy to explore 300,000 plus travel experiences so you can discover what's out there no matter when you're traveling or where you're traveling or what you're interested in. Viator helps you plan the perfect travel experience for you with free cancellation to help you plan for unexpected and 300,000 plus travel experiences to choose from. That way you can plan something that everyone you're traveling with will enjoy. Traveling and planning a long trip is difficult, it's stressful, and when you're planning a vacation, no stress should be involved. So let Viator help you figure out what you want to do, when you want to do it, and then they can pretty much go through anything you want to do and help you succeed in basically formulating the perfect travel plan. The itineraries Viator can hook you up with is what it's all about. So download the Viator app now to use code Viator10 for 10% off your first booking in the app. Find travel experience for you. Do more with Viator. That's Viator app, Viator10 code for 10% off your first booking in the app. Thank you to Viator. What an honor it is now to be joined by a very special human being, a man who scored 684 goals in the National Hockey League. That's 12th all time. A Stanley Cup winner, the winner of the first ever Rocket Richard Trophy for leading goal scorer in the NHL, and an absolute gentleman while also being a movie star now in the new movie Minor Leaguers with Brett Hull. We have the Finnish Flash, Teemu Selanne. Thanks for joining, buddy.
Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'm interested in the movie because it came out August 1st. It's August 5th as we chat right now. How did it all come about? How was it acting? What was the intro for you to getting Hull involved? Like, bring us through the situation on how the movie came about.
Well, it happened about 5 years ago when my buddy Leo Finn, he actually called me and he talked with the guy named Dan Comrie who actually produced the movie, and he's also as a Jake in that movie. So they called me and said that they have a nice script about hockey and comedy and humor and stuff. And would I be interested to do some acting part of there? And at first I said no, I'm not the actor, you know. But then they forced me to have a lunch with them, and they brought the script, and I read the script, and then I started thinking about, you know what, maybe this would be fun, because I think that the thing was that I'm playing myself, but totally opposite about myself. I'm totally egomaniac, just totally brick, you know, who is full of shit, full of your shit, own shit. So I think that's why I got interested about that. You know, I can act something that I am not, and you know, and then we called Brett Hull, and he said right away yes, and then I said, all right, let's do it, and. It was great experience.
How was it memorizing lines? Like, were you butchering them? Were you nervous going into scenes, or had you settled in after maybe the first few days?
Yeah, first it was a little bit complicated. Obviously, you have to go out of your comfort zone, and English is not my first language anyway. So, but you know, then we decided that, and there's a lot of words that I have never even heard before. So, but I think the most important thing is that you understand the script and the message what you want to tell out. and then you can manipulate that with your own words, and I think that then it starts working. But you just have to relax and just try to be as normal as you can. But I have a lot of appreciation for those actors. It's not easy, and the hardest part was the waiting part. First, you tape like 10 minutes, and then you wait 45 minutes, and then you change angles and stuff. And I want things going, and it was so hard to be patient, But like I said, it was fun, but it was not easy.
You're like, I got a golf match, I got a tennis match. What am I doing sitting around this studio? I'm a busy man. But it might have been your first time acting, but you actually had another movie, a documentary about your life in Finland that I believe is the highest grossing film in the history of Finland. So that must have been pretty cool to go through with those guys on your life story and your career and all the old videos they must have had.
Yeah, actually, that was great experience as well, And obviously, that's a normal life. And when you start get used to it, that the camera crew is around you for a little bit here and there, it's then it starts working. You have to almost forget that they are there. Then you're gonna get the good footage. But I think that was a one kind of thing that like you said, you start memorizing the things what has happened in your career, and some things that you haven't even you don't remember very well. But then those memories spring back, and then you start living that moment again. So it was a pretty cool thing, and but this is different because then you have to actually follow the script and try to be in the movie right way. But then acting is a little bit fun also because we start taping in Top Gear 2 now in Finland, and that's all about cars and stuff. So I've done a little bit, but it's not easy.
Well, we're gonna go into your like car fetish because you're insane about cars. Apparently, when you were a younger kid, you were doing a lot of car racing, and you might have even chosen that as a career over hockey. But just quickly going back to minor leaguer, can you give people who want to check it out maybe a quick rundown of the storyline and what happens in it?
Well, the story is about me and Brett Hall. We don't get along. Obviously, we are good buddies, but in the movie, we don't get along. And I'm jealous for him because he had 2 Stanley Cups and he had 700 plus goals and 2 Stanley Cups, and I have only 1. And so I get that hockey team for this league, and then Holly just wants to fuck around with me, and he wants to buy a team too, and I try to do everything that he can buy a team, and he doesn't get done. It's getting kind of messy there and a little dirty, but and then there's little off scenes and stuff with the other people too. But it's a rivalry between me and Brett, and I think Brett is doing an unbelievable job. And obviously, I think it's more normal for him because he has a black belt for chirping and stuff, and he always his voice and everything how he talks is always about show. So I think he did a great job there.
He was probably writing his own lines to come at you, below the belt.
Exactly.
That's unbelievable. How well did you know him before that? Did you guys ever play together?
We played all-star games, but not in the same team. And right. I have known him like 20 years here and there. And, so I don't know him that well, but that 8 days we had a good time. And he likes tequila too. So in the night time, we had a couple tasting of tequila and talk about hockey and everything. So it was fun time with him.
Biz mentioned your love of cars, and I don't know, like growing up, were you into F1? Was that something that you were always like passionate about? Was driving cars? Did you have go-karts? Because it's turned into something where you collect cars and you enjoy racing when you can. So I didn't know if as a youngster, was that even more popular to you than hockey? Yeah,
and you collect the odd speeding ticket as well. We'll get into that in a little bit.
You remember that story. My dad is car engineer, and he always, even we didn't have much money when we were young, but he always buys some piece of shit cars, and he's fixing those, and that's how I got into the cars. And in Finland, Formula One and rally car racing, it's like national pride. So obviously, if you don't like racing and you're from Finland, there's something wrong with you. So I've always been a big rally car fan and Formula One fan, and then a good buddy started racing cars when he was 18 years old, and then I went with him with the practice and stuff, and then he let me to drive, and then I got hooked, and then, but it's now when I look back, the racing, I was still playing NHL. I was 30 years old when I stopped racing after big accident, you know. But when you're young and stupid, you don't even think about something bad can happen, you know. And I rolled the car a couple of times pretty bad, and then I realized, you know, maybe I should not drive until I'm done. And but now I think I would be scared to drive. But the cars have always been big passion, and obviously the living and making money, what we do for hockey. You know, I was lucky and able to buy some nice cars, and my love is for the muscle cars and old classic cars. I think that's I enjoy those so much, and I used to be crazy. I tried to get every car what I could, but I think I grew up now. I don't have so many cars anymore, but I still love them.
It's a lot of money in insurance. Collecting all those cars, all those payments add up, eh? You said you rolled a couple cars. Now, was this while you were playing in the NHL when you would go back home and you would be doing it in the summertime?
Yes. So I started racing when I was my first year in Winnipeg. I had my first race, and I remember when I was racing under my different name. So I was Teddy Flash, and I tried to fool people that they don't know that I'm a racing. But that didn't go very well. I think the people realized right away that who's behind the wheels, and then, you know, I didn't want to talk about that too much in anybody that I'm racing cars, and then the Winnipeg people, they asked me, like, I heard you're racing some cars, and I tried to explain, no, it's not really racing. It's more like you know, like it's something big, you know. But then they realized when they saw some highlights, and then I promised that I'm not going to do many races in the summertime, but I always loved that, and of course it was a big risk because, you know, like you know that we can't do things that we can get hurt in the
I wouldn't
season.
even go skiing. You're fucking rolling cars.
Biz, how about if we interviewed a rookie this year in the NHL? Like, any hobbies off the ice? He's like, yeah, I'm racing cars in the summer.
Yeah, rally carring. You know, just going on these 3-day excursions. At what age did you first get behind the wheel of a car, though, given you grew up loving it? Like, would your father let you go drive the car sometimes, like in the backfields or something?
Absolutely. I was probably like 6 or 7 years old when I was driving myself. And in the wintertime, we went to like some big parking lots, and first my dad showed how to drive, and then he put me behind the wheel, and it was so much fun. And obviously with the big snowbanks, you know, if something happens, you know, it's not going to do any damage, but that's how I fall off in the cars and driving, and then we had a deal with my dad that I can drive every day in our property, and longest I don't you know, wreck the car. But so I've always enjoyed that, and speed anyway. Like the speed has always been a very big thing for me. I have been up with the Hornets and like offshore boats and stuff, and I have been driving Formula One car, everything. So it's really, you get so much into it.
Another thing you mentioned was the rally car racing. What is that about? Do you do it with like a teammate? Do you go long distances? And I also read, this might have been after your career, where you were in like one of the longest races in Finland or something like that.
Well, yeah, I drove 3 times the World Championship rally in Finland, and it's a 30 stages, and one stage can be maybe 30 miles, one might be only 7 or something. But you have a navigator, like, and it's between the forest and the dirt roads, and so technically the navigator is gonna tell you, like, over the hill, that what's gonna be over the hill, if it's gonna be right, and how what kind of turns and stuff. And when you go, the average speed in one stage can be like 170 kilometers per hour. So it's kind of gnarly when you know that if you drive out, there's all kind of trees and stuff. So, you know, it can be a little bit dangerous, and but when you're young and stupid, you don't think about something can happen. But that's something what's really big in Finland. And actually, we just had last weekend that World Championships rally here in Finland, and those guys are unbelievable. And but it's fun. It's but it is a lot of preparation, and that's why I don't have time for driving anymore. And I try to be smart. That I took enough risks.
Is it like in a Subaru? Like, because you said you're going like in the back country and stuff. Like, is it all Subarus? Like, what kind of vehicles? Yeah,
they are like exactly Subarus, Mitsubishis, Toyota Corolla World Rally cars. They are like a top of the line. Those top cars are like almost $2 million per car. So And one little accident, and you will total the car. So even last weekend, there was a couple of brutal accidents and stuff. But they have to go all the way out and take some risk too. When I was driving, of course, I tried to drive as fast as I can, but I still try to be smart that, nothing really bad.
I got one last car racing question, and that is, I went to a NASCAR race once, left very underwhelmed. Like, if you like left turns, I guess it's for you. It wasn't for me. If I went to Formula One, do you think I would enjoy it a lot more? Because I saw the Vegas one, that looked cool, but do you think that even though I wasn't that into NASCAR, Formula One, I could really enjoy it in person?
Well, I think it will be great experience, but the one thing about when you go in the present that you only see the cars like in 4 or 5 seconds per lap. So if you're not really a big fan and really into it, it's hard to get into it. I think it's more like a happening, like a NASCAR and stuff. Like when we played the Sandbagger Challenge, I told that Zach Brown is a good buddy of mine who is a CEO from McLaren. Obviously, when you his guest, you're gonna get in the garage and you're gonna get so into it, And same thing what that show Drive Survive in the Netflix.
I like that a lot. I like that.
Yeah, that has brought so many new fans. Even you're not Formula One fan, but like getting behind the scenes, that's really have created more fans for Formula One. But if you have a chance to go, I think it's highly recommended. And like places like Las Vegas, there's so many other things to do. Also, Austin is one of my favorites. Great city, great parties, and track is pretty close. So it's a fun event and fun stuff when you get into it.
My understanding was people were starting to lose interest even after that show came out because it's so one-sided. Like a few of the guys have the best cars and this Max guy wins every race. So people want a little bit, it's like the NHL. People want a little bit more parity where anybody has a chance to win. And that's not really the case because top dollars get the top cars, and that's what makes the big difference.
Now, finally, McLaren has catch Red Bull and Max. And but yeah, like you're right. Like first of all, we need a Ferrari to be in the top 2 because that's going to create more interest. But we need 5 or 6 teams to be in the bubble to win every day, because otherwise it's going to be getting too boring. Like the times when Michael Schumacher won 7 championships, then Lewis Hamilton, and now Max. Like you said, it's getting pretty boring if there's only one team who can win.
Yeah, you need more guys in the mix. And since we're talking about childhood activities, G, our producer, had written down that you also played a sport called bandy. Is that what it's called? Is that?
Yeah.
Could you? I had no idea what this sport was. I was
seen
trying
highlights.
to read it.
It's pretty crazy.
What's different about it than hockey? Because it looked pretty similar, right? Are you playing on skates as well?
Yeah, it's skates, and then it's like a field hockey with the skates on. Same kind of nets and field hockey, and then there's these high boards all over the in the sides, and it's almost like a soccer field size. A lot of skating, nobody stops. Some people are even using big blades to get more speed and stuff. And there's no equipment up here. There's no hitting. It's just like it's a lot of skating and really good practice for hockey too, because it's a long distance skating and handling. It's a fun sport, but it's not that big. I think Canada has actually a national team, but I'm not sure if USA has. But it's a fun sport, and I started playing that only because we needed more ice time, and my hockey team stopped playing bandy, and it was fun.
So that's where you got a lot of your stamina at a young age, was playing a little bit more of that, because you said it's more skating, more conditioning, and you're out there. And also, like, from a hands perspective, I believe like the blade on the stick or whatever you hold, it's smaller too, so it probably helps a little bit more for the hand-eye.
Absolutely. And the stick is almost like a field hockey stick. Maybe a little bit lighter, an orange ball, like a hard rubber ball. And but like you said, hockey, you get a lot of stop and goes and more battles and stuff. And bandy is long distance, like a really good grinding and good stride practice. So I think it's really helped with my hockey too. And everybody who played, they really got better only because playing bandy. But it's funny that it's in the movie too. And it's so funny. Yeah, it's fun.
I know I can't see Brett Hull being down with the bandy. He's like, put me in the slot and have you pass me the puck.
Yeah, he's not a lot of skating. He's just gonna hang out in that same spot for the one timer.
I'd like to see Brett Hull for fucking playing bandy. Because it's a soccer field. It's the size of soccer field. A lot of skating. I don't think Hollywood loved that, you know.
When I played with you, even after knee surgeries and different injuries, you were still so fast in your late 30s. It was your game. When you were a younger kid, was that always like part of your game? Were you smaller? Did you were you maybe a late bloomer and skating is what kind of helped you when you were smaller than everyone?
Yeah, I was super fast runner and skater and stuff. So and I was small until I was 16. And but then I got this Osgood slather, like those knee problems. Like
the bumps in your knee.
Yeah, so I grew maybe like 6 or 7 inches in 1 year, and I couldn't use my speed. And I think that's helped my game reading and I couldn't use the speed, so I had to be smart other ways, and obviously, try to find my teammates better and stuff. I think that's really helped me, but the speed has always been the biggest thing for me, and luckily I have always been fast. I know that I have been practicing it a lot too, but I think it's a lot of genes that, you either have a fast cells or you don't, but you can practice a lot, but still there's a different thing if you have some good genes.
I mean, hockey's pretty much a religion over there. I would say maybe soccer is the main sport. Was your father, was he into hockey? Because you said he was into cars. Was he the reason why you got into it? And was he a vital part in the growth in your career?
Yes, my dad played junior hockey. And like I said, hockey is same as Canada in Finland. Everybody plays some point if you're a boy or girl. And soccer and hockey, they are the biggest sports. And now basketball has been coming up too. But the sports were our family's thing, and we tried to, my dad always said that let's play as many sports we can, and then you're going to find the thing what you love to do. And I wasn't expecting it's going to be my job. And when I was 14, my dad said that, he saw the drive and the talent, and he said, okay, let's make a deal that you have to look school like some respectful way, but let's see how far we can go with the hockey. And I got the green light to do everything, and rest of the story is a history. But I was very lucky that I had parents who were able to do this, and you have to be around the right people in the right time, and parents are for sure one of them, the most important ones.
So Jokerit is a legendary Finnish program and team. They're not in the KHL anymore, but they were when I played over there, and they always had a great team. And so you played juniors there, then you played the senior team. Was there somebody there, maybe the GM or the head of that organization, that really helped you grow? And even at the time of becoming a junior player for Jokerit, was the NHL already on your mind? Because sometimes the European guys we talked to, they were just looking to star for the senior team at some point in life.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool thing in Finland that, a lot of players are playing whole career in the same club team.
It's
you
awesome.
start with the mini-mites, and then you make your way up to the top league. That was my biggest dream, to play in the Jokerit in the top league. And then my dream was to play for Finnish national teams. And then obviously the fantasy was an NHL. I didn't even know how to get there, and obviously, when things start happening fast, when I was 17, then I got drafted first round with Winnipeg. Then I realized I might have a chance, and at least I will get the chance. So, but I always say to kids, dream big and work hard. That's and I keep smiling. Don't take it too serious. You have to. Everything has to happen in a smooth way. And what my dad really teach me that. To learn to get your worst day as good as you can, because that's what separates people in life, in the superstars or husbands or wives or in the business. How good is your bad day? And if you can get that close cap, you're gonna be a superstar. And I didn't accept the bad days, and that's I try to teach my kids too, that refuse. We all gonna have bad days, but don't accept that. Just find a way somehow to get that pretty good. And that's a talent, and that's a will, and that's a passion to do that. Because not everybody can do that, and then not today, And you guys know that, as your teammates in the past, there's a lot of players that they're either really good or they have nothing. And those guys usually they're going to be okay players, but they're never going to be superstars.
Is that a reason maybe for your happy-go-lucky mindset too? Because I'm sure when you say that, you mean also from a physical standpoint. But from my understanding is every day you'd walk into the rink and you would push the limits, because if you had to be there at 5, you'd be there at 4:59, 59, and you'd walk in, but you would always have a smile on your face. You would always be happy. So where did you get that kind of no bad days attitude from? I've never seen you not have a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, I thought it was always game. It was not a job. I never took any pressure of my playing. I wanted to do well, but I didn't try to force anything. I really believe that things happen automatically, and I found the right way to do it. Like I said, I gamed in the game days. When I came to the game, I try to come as late as I can, because I'm not the guy who comes there 4 hours before the game and put a towel over the head and start focusing. Let's go. No, I rather watch Baywatch 30 minutes before, and then when I start dressing up, it's a goal time. And so that worked for me. And, I'm not judging anybody, whatever they do, but you have to find your own way to do what works, And that worked for me. And I had that 10 minutes rule. If you ask my wife after the games, if she wasn't in the game, she didn't know if I played well or bad. When I came home, I was always saying, I didn't want to bring it was, first of all, it was not work, but I didn't want to bring the game home. I just came home and I was happy camper. And next day again, I very often I have to tell my teammates, you guys, you do things what you love to do. Like, why are you so down? We sucked last time. Who cares? Today is a new opportunity, a new day. Let's enjoy and let's be better. Let's learn something and be better next day. There's so many guys that are worrying things way too much.
I was doing it all wrong. I should have been watching Pamela Anderson's tits bouncing around before puck drop. I might have scored some more fucking goals in the National Hockey League.
I'm pretty sure you were looking at plenty of tits, but that's besides
not
the point.
Not before puck drop. You would be in the trainer's room. You'd be in the trainer's room or the players' lounge watching Baywatch.
I was in the, yes, I did. It was always same time, so I knew that it's on. So Pamela is running like this.
Yeah, the slow-mo running just to get you going.
Yes, with the good personalities.
Biz, he also would come in the room if warm-ups were 16 minutes on the clock. He's coming in at 18 minutes and getting dressed in 90 seconds.
I never knew how guys could do that.
It was like he had a Velcro suit on. I don't even get it how you did that. He just comes in.
But hey, that's what I mean. Like when I knew I'm gonna have 2 minutes, 20 seconds. I can dress up everything from scratch.
That's fucked.
So for me, when I start dressing up, that was first time I was really focusing that I don't have to. I'm not hurry, but I have to still be pretty fast. And that was a time when actually it was a game time for me mentally, So, usually I game, like when we went to 16 mark, we went on the ice, I start maybe, I gave the room like 20 mark. And so I have a very comfortable 4 minutes.
That's unbelievable.
So Biz and I were chatting before that once you were drafted, I think it was 5 years before you came over to play for Winnipeg. And I don't know if that was part of Winnipeg's plan to let you develop and they liked where you're at and yoker it, but was that your idea too, that I'm not in a rush to get over to the NHL?
It was only my call. So I came to the training camp when I was 18 after when I got drafted. And John Ferguson, I played with Dale Haverchuk in the training camp, and I was playing great with him. And then I was only 2 weeks there, but the last game we played against Minnesota in Winnipeg. And then I had to go back because I was serving in the military service at the time. So I had to go back. And I always remember John Ferguson came to the locker room after the game with the big cigar in his mouth and said, hey, boy, you're staying. I said, no, I can't stay. I have to go. I was not ready to come as an 18 at the time. And then, Don Basley was my agent, and he lived in Winnipeg. He was waiting me, and I ran to him and said, Ferguson said, I have to stay here. I don't want to stay here. So, and then luckily I didn't have to, because I was not ready at the time. So I finished my army service, and then I wanted to play one more year. And then I said, maybe I'm not ready. And Jari Curry actually said that at the time, if you're not 100% sure, just wait another year. And then I said, okay, I wait one more year. And then I broke my tibia and fibula, and I missed whole year. So then it was 92 was Albertville Olympics. And I said, you know what, because the NHL players are not allowed to play in Olympics, that would be something that I wanna experience before I go to NHL. So that's why I came to NHL at age 22. So yeah, I was waiting 4 years before I came over, and I think it was good for me, because like now I admire that those 18-year-old kids can come and be a big impact right away in the league. But at the time, I didn't feel, especially mentally, I don't think I was ready to play as an 18-year-old like full season.
From like a workout and training perspective, you seem to be like dialed in, like you took that very seriously. Did the Army and like serving time, like I don't know what it's like over there, did that prepare you even more from like a professional standpoint? And what did your job entail when you had to be enlisted for a certain amount of time? Like that's just a country rule for every male, correct?
Yeah, it's a mandatory Army service, and the first 3 months is everybody is going to have a same practices and same things to do, and then they rank you, and usually they put the athletes in the higher category, so because they are in good shape and they have a kind of leadership value. So I'm in the squadron that I'm the forces that if the war happens, we're gonna go and find the enemy. So we're gonna be probably the first guys who's gonna get killed. But so technically, we are in the forest all the time, and winter time we have skis and everything. We ski and we try to find where the enemies are. And it was 11 months, and I always said that at the time when you serve there, it's not so much fun, but it's a real deal, and that's how the boys become a man, And I think we are so proud that we have that thing here, and especially now when the world is crazy and Russia is beside us, and they attack to Ukraine, and now we have a great military, so we know that we can protect ourselves, and we take a lot of pride for that. So, but the training, like in Canada too, the farm boys, the people who they are like tough mentally because they learn to work, and same thing for me. Like what comes to the off ice training, I used to play 3-4 hours tennis, 3-4 hours squash every day. And that was my workout. And I didn't even feel it was my workout. It was just so much fun. It was my passion. And I know a lot of guys who had to ride the bike and do the weights to stay in shape. It was tough a long summer, But for me, I enjoyed because after hockey, I played all the other sports that I love.
I know you're a very good tennis player yourself. Your daughter's a very good player. And correct me if I'm wrong, you've become friendly with Roger Federer, and you've played tennis with him before. Like, how did you guys meet, and how good of a guy is he? I mean, probably considered the best of all time in the game of tennis, and maybe Djokovic now. Yeah,
I think Djokovic is the best right now, and he just won the Olympic gold medal in the Paris. But my good buddy Jarkko Nieminen, he used to be in the tennis tour for 14 years, and then in Indian Wells tournament, I always went to watch that tournament, and Jarkko was good friend with the Roger, and Roger told the story actually because he's born in August 8th, so it's 8/8/81 is his birthday. So and at the time he used to have a Swedish coach, and they always played this PlayStation hockey, and because he loved A number 8, he always used me as his player. And then he said, "Oh, Teemu is coming. I want to meet him." And that's how we met. And he told a good story about his house, that he has been collecting number 8 jerseys. So when he comes in the garage and he opens his garage, the lights come up in the wall, and there's all number 8s, and one of my jerseys. So it's pretty big honor for me, you know.
That's sick.
So he wanted
then
to
when
meet you. That's how cool this guy has been.
That's so cool.
You know what? He's the classiest guy I ever seen in my life, you know, like as a superstar, you know. He's so humble and well, like soft-spoken, and he just treats everybody same way, so nice way, and he's a true gentleman. And when Jarkko, my buddy, retired, he had this last match against Roger in Helsinki in the arena, 14,000 people. And I don't know why Jarkko was thinking about that they can't fill the rink in that match. And I said, are you crazy? Roger is going to come and play. So he said, how about if you and me, we play against Roger and Peter Forsberg? And I said, you don't have to do that. Are you crazy that you're not going to fill the rink? So anyway, we did that. And then, of course, me and Jarkko beat Peter and Roger. And a lot of times I try to remind Roger that, remember, there's still one guy that you have never beat.
You don't lose
The
much.
legend
We learned in
grows.
the sandbagger biz. Fuck.
Oh, God. Actually, we should talk about that quickly. So there might be people listening right now who don't follow us on our Spittin Chiclets YouTube channel. We had the honor of playing you, a couple Hall of Famers. Now that JR has finally gotten the nod, you
I'm
must
so
be
happy
fired
for
up.
you.
You said while we were golfing, you go, this guy's a Hall of Famer. It's bullshit that he's not in. Sure enough, 4 or 5 months later, he's in there. So you must be so proud of him. And God, we had some laughs on that golf course.
Oh, you know what? You know, we have so much fun. You all guys are great. And JR is he's a clown. He's a showman and a really good golfer as well. And we have always had great time with him. And I'm so happy for him that he made a Hall of Fame. It's well deserved, and it took a long time for different reasons, but now he's a Hall of Famer, and it's a huge thing, and I'm so happy for him.
That's
You were
awesome.
actually
And
talking.
more important, we won.
Oh, one.
You didn't
You
just
guys
win.
spanked us.
You didn't just win. It was like playing with like a bunch of 7-year-olds, and you were like letting them like get in like back in the match, and then like, all right, enough.
I
But
think I
at
smoked
that-
too much dope that day. That's why you guys beat us. I think
Oh,
if
yeah,
I
that-
wasn't smoking any dope, I
Yeah,
think
that
we
was
would
the
have taken you.
problem. I don't think anything could have helped us. But that day you were telling me, I think it was off camera, maybe after, about when you came over to Winnipeg and some of the vets and Keith Kachuk and getting pranked a little bit. So I think it was a little eye-opening for you when you came over to the NHL. I mean, you were one of the best players in the league and broke a record for points and goals by a rookie, but the veterans weren't letting you think that too easily, right?
No, they tried to be a little bit hard on me, and I understand that. So we had 8 rookies, and obviously, and our first line was all rookies as well. Keith Kachuk, Zhamanov, and myself. And I always remember Randy Carlyle tried to make us skate after the practice, and we played 25 minutes a game. And I always remember I tried to hide behind the Zhamanov, and the Zhamanov with his broken English said, "Randy, no skating. If coach tell skate, I skate. If you say no skate." And obviously Randy, it was his last year, and he was a veteran player, and he got so mad, and a lot of other guys got mad too. But yeah, I think at the time, it was a different story. There's so much appreciation and respect for the older guys, and you try to be a good rookie and be humble and stuff. But it was kind of hard because obviously for my case, like when I start scoring those goals and I just stole the spotlight, it was kind of hard to. I felt embarrassing that take the media coverage and all those stuff, so as a rookie, so I think there might be a lot of guys that they were not happy about that, but I don't know how different ways I could do that thing, but I just try to be a good guy and just do my job, and if somebody doesn't like it, that's pretty much their problem,
Well, I mean, you mentioned it. You said you wouldn't have gone over unless you were 100% ready, and then you said you went back, got injured, and then you dominated at Jokerit for 2 years. You guys won the championship in your last year there. When you came over in that first training camp, like knowing that you were coming over for good, were you dominating like right leading up to the season? Like when you stepped in, like, were you at NHL standard?
Yes, obviously I didn't know exactly how long it takes to get used to the lifestyle and then the different style of game, smaller ice and more physical and stuff. Obviously, I got all the tools right away. First power play, I played with the best players, and I think Phil Housley was the biggest factor in that year. I think he assisted like 54 even strength goals for me, and he was like a quarterback in the back, and he was so talented. And the way how he saw the game, I knew that if I get open, the puck is gonna come. So yeah, and the chemistry right away started clicking with the Alex Shamanov and Keith Tkachuk and like I said, Housley and I was so hungry to show myself and everybody I can play well but I think the biggest thing for me to get ready for the NHL was when I broke my leg at 89 and I came to watch playoff hockey, Winnipeg against Oilers. And I watched the whole first series, first round, and I remember I called my dad and I said, "Dad, I don't know if I can play in this league." And he said, "What do you mean?" "Dad, you have no idea how violent, how tough this is, and it's I didn't even play. I'm scared. The atmosphere and the hate and the passion and how tough it was, It was something that I felt that I can't play. This is too hard for me. This is too violent. I'm scared there." And I went back home and I said, "You know what? I gotta be ready. This is serious stuff." And I even took boxing lessons before I came over that I can protect myself. And so I knew exactly how ready I have to be when I came over, and that was really eye opener for me and really helped me a lot.
So even in that first year when you were lighting it up, did you still have a little bit of that element of fear? And I'm not sure looking back, did you guys make playoffs that first year in Winnipeg? So playoff hockey is also a different beast. So were you still playing with a little bit of that fear, or did you get used to it pretty early?
I got used to it pretty early, but it started getting pretty heat there, and that's why we got Ty Domi and Chris King, and after like 2 months in, because the other team starts trying to stop us any different ways. And then Mike Smith said, "That's it," and we got Ty Domi. And that's why I have so much appreciation for tough guys. First of all, it's a tough job, and all the tough guys are super good guys, great values for the life and the friendships and for the team. They do anything for the team. And the way I like Ty Domi, obviously we became very, very good friends, and we're still good friends. But I felt so much more comfortable to be out there and just play my game because I know that there's guys who's going to look after me. And every team I played, I just love those tough guys, and I have so much appreciation for those guys.
The run in Winnipeg the first year, it's stuff of legends, and I don't know if that goal record by a rookie will ever be beat. And then all of a sudden, the next few years, the team didn't make the playoffs, and you're still way over a point per game, and in the middle of the season, boom, traded to Anaheim. And I was reading an article before the interview that mentioned you were kind of upset and shocked in a way. So what was their reasoning? Did you ever get a reasoning? And I'm guessing with the shock and the surprise, you had no idea it was coming because you've really kind of created a home and a superstar career already in Winnipeg.
Yeah, there were rumors that, that the team is going to move to Arizona, first to Minnesota and then to Arizona. And there's a lot of confusing stuff about the franchise, what's going to happen. And they said they can't afford to have 3 guys who's making that kind of money, Keith Tkachuk and Alexei Zhamnov and myself. And they said they probably will have to trade one. But then the new owner, Richard Burke, who bought the team, he called me week before the All-Star game and said, "I know there's rumors about you getting traded. You're not. You're going to be a huge part of our success down in
the classic.
Yeah.
The classic line.
Very, very happy to hear that. I think I was 15 scoring in the league, playing great. And then he said, and obviously the rest of the team is going to go down to Arizona to look to the city in the All-Star break. And after the season, you and your family, we're going to take you down to Arizona. You're going to be a huge part of our success in Phoenix. So then I went to the All-Star game, and then about 3-4 days after that, I got the phone call. Like, I was still on the ice in the practice when our coach said, you have a phone call in my office. And I knew right away, this is not, nobody has ever took me off the ice and said, you have phone calls. So I went to his office, and John Paddock said that it was the toughest day in his life. I have to trade you to. And then before he said that, we were like 1 minute, we were not talking. And then I asked where. He said, Anaheim. And I said, all right, thanks. And I hang up. I heard when he said Teemu, but I was so disappointed. My wife was 9 months pregnant. They lied to me. That's the first time I learned that it's a business. You like a racehorse that, they make their own decisions. It doesn't matter how you feel. Because I grew up in Finland, where there's so much loyalty and pride for the club team that you play. And that's how I was in Winnipeg. I really felt that that's my city and my fans and my team. And then all of a sudden, you feel like you failed when you get traded. And then, but obviously I was shocked. But right away when I went back to Anaheim, first it was below 25 in Winnipeg with the wind. And first morning when I was in Anaheim, and I had a breakfast outside, 80 degrees, palm trees everywhere. I look around, I said, this is heaven. So
This will work.
Kind of like the opposite of Whit, eh? Before the All-Star game. Can you tell that story on the bus? Of
which one?
The one
Remember
of
when
Whit.
we were going to the Olympics and I was dogging on Edmonton?
Oh my God, that's a funny story. So we played our last game in Edmonton before the Olympic break, and we all went to the airport in Edmonton. We are flying to Vancouver for Olympics, and we're having a couple beers, waiting our flights, and we said, guys, could you guys even imagine if you would have to play here? And then we are like, I don't know if this is so bad. I think the great fans, great team, this is a shithole. And I said, okay, whatever. And then like 2 days after the Olympics, I heard that someone said, hey, we got traded. Really? Where? Edmonton. I'm like,
oh my God.
Like, what a dumb hockey. And I remember you and Saku being like, I don't know, they love hockey up here. Team's not great, but the fans are amazing. I was in Winnipeg. I loved that. Like, no. And then we all came home because Teemu and Saku won the bronze. Bobby Ryan and myself won the silver, and Perry and Getzlav won the gold. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. Oh, Niedermeyer.
God, Niedermeyer, yeah.
And so there's 7. And all of us got a medal. And we took a picture on the ice. It's a great picture I have. And then literally I went upstairs, traded.
Oh my God.
And Teemu was like, good luck.
That's an instant classic.
Oh my God. I went to Saku and said, you don't believe what happened. We just got traded to Edmonton. He's like, oh my God.
It was the most karma, like, defining moment I could ever imagine.
I could hear that story every day for the rest of my life and still laugh. Now,
but Teemu,
you like it there, right?
Oh, now after a little hiccup this year, I'm like Edmonton's #1 cheerleader. So, and we go back and we have these great times, although our fans didn't necessarily love our run in Edmonton this year.
Yeah.
But I did say once being in Edmonton, if the team was good, this would be a great place to play.
Yeah.
If you're on the Oilers and the Oilers are bad, that's nightmare fuel. I'll say that. But if the team's good and you're in Canada, it is as top notch. And now their new rink, they didn't even have that new rink when I was there. But that was so funny. Funny.
Whit, I just want to quickly go back because I know we bounced over to the trade, and now that you were in Anaheim, you talked about it during the sandbagger, though, the iconic photo of you shooting the duck. Is that what you call that celebration of you breaking the goal record or at least tying it by a rookie? and you explain that really is not in your nature, but the emotions in that situation took over, and it ended up making that iconic moment, which is cool for all hockey fans, obviously.
Yeah, you know what? Like when I was young boy, one Finnish player did that in Finland, and I said, one day I want to do that. And but I did that when I scored the game winner in the last game in the Finnish national title game. I did that, but not the same way. And I was not planning to do that way, but I was so pumped that I broke the record, and it was funny story because so I had 47 goals, and there's 2 games I didn't score, and Mike Smith called me in his office, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What do you mean? You haven't scored 2 games?" I said, "Yeah, I have some chance, but no, you got to start scoring, and otherwise." I have to send you to Moncton in the farm team. I'm like, I have 47 goals. I didn't say that, but I said, I'm like, what a jerk. So
What's he talking about?
Yeah. So then I go home and later my girlfriend at the time, wife now, but she came home and said, you have no idea what happened. I'm in the Polo Park in the mall, and your GM Mike came there and he didn't even say anything. He just came to me and asked, "Do you know where's Moncton?"
Holy shit!
What?
And I'm like, "What an asshole!" So
I have 47 goals.
And I was like, "Jesus, like I can't believe this." So then we have 2 games left before we went to like a 5 or 6 on the road, and all the fans and media said, I'm gonna probably break Mike Boss's record on the road. So then we played Minnesota. I scored 4 goals. So now I have 51 goals. 1 more game. The fans were, I don't think, it's still, he needs a hat trick to break the record. So then I broke the record at home. I got 3 goals in the next game. So then Mike Smith probably think that it was because of him,
Yep.
But maybe, I don't know. But, it was... But at the time when that happened, I was so pumped and so happy to do that at home, and I was able to share that historic moment with our fans, and the city. It was just like crazy, So and they stopped the game in 15 minutes, and our owner gave me golden stick and stuff. It was just like a shit show there. But then I can only imagine it was against Quebec Nordiques. And I felt embarrassed that there was 15 minutes break in the game. I can only imagine how those guys were thinking, So, but obviously, I was not planning to do that celebration, but I was just so pumped that it happened naturally. And now when I look back, I said, what the hell I was doing? But it's still pretty good celebration.
Teemu, who is the guy that you emulated doing it, like the Finnish player who'd done it?
His name is Mauri Eimola. He was very, very skilled, pretty good player too, but nobody has ever done that. So when I saw that, I said, that was unbelievable. So but I decided right away that it has to be big goal. It can't be normal goal. So it has to mean something. So, luckily I did it, but still it was kind of like, now when I look back, I'm not wrong.
I also read a story, I think you might have told it on the Missing Curfew podcast. It was about when Keith Tkachuk pranked you in Winnipeg. Was there a specific story like that where he got you pretty good or no?
I don't remember. They did all the time something. I used to have this Super Mario bag, but I was very proud of it. I checked. Everybody else have a nice, like, not Louis Vuitton at the time, but something like Hugo Boss and stuff, and they checked those. At the time, we were flying commercial flights, so I didn't have a suitcase. I only have like this Super Mario bag with me, and then I think we went to San Jose or somewhere, and then I'm waiting my bag, and everybody else got their bag, and I just got like a plastic bag with all my clothes, and Super Mario bag is gone. And I never figured out who took it. And until about 10 years ago, 20 years after that, I got the George Barris. He sent me a picture of that bag. And I'm like, you son of a bitch, who took that bag? And I think it was Nelson Emerson who took that bag. I don't know if he took it, but I think he still has it, But that was my favorite bag, and he never got it back though.
I think one of the coolest things about you going to Anaheim, and most hockey fans would agree, was this instant chemistry with Paul Kariya, who I got to watch play college hockey when I was about 10 years old. He was on Maine starring, and then you guys just had this connection. But for a guy who's kind of as laid back as you, Paul Kariya was different. I've always been told one of the most superstitious players to ever play. So, like, what were some of the things he did? And you must have looked at him like, you're crazy.
Yes, exactly. So I always remember we were roommates right away, and first road trip was in Long Island. And I remember when the bus stopped, he ran to the hotel. He even took his bag. The PR guys took the bag. He didn't want any part of the fans, and he went to the room. And then when we got in the room, he went to right away to check. I said, "Where are you going?" "I'm gonna go check the exits." I said, "What do you mean exits?" He said, "Like how to sneak out without seeing people, And I'm like, "Dude, like sign 2 minutes and just keep walking, It's not a big deal." But he was totally different, very uptight and very focused. And it's all about business. And I always joke about that. My half salary was playing hockey, and half I tried to make Paul as normal he can be. And I think it worked great because I was maybe too loose sometimes, and I learned that maybe that little more serious thing here and there from Paul. And Paul learned from me to relax and take it stuff a little bit more like a relaxed way. But I always remember he always went 10 o'clock in the bed. Even East Coast, I said 7 o'clock. It's California at 7 o'clock. Even my kids doesn't go this early. But he put his mouth guard on and he put his wristbands on. And I asked, "Why do you have those wristbands on?" He said, "One time I was sleeping like this, and it was sore like a couple of weeks, so I don't want to take any chance." Okay. So then we went to Phoenix for one game only. And I took my son's shin pads. They were like this small, in my bag. And before we started going to bed, I took the shin pads and I started taping them on. And Paul said, "What are you doing?" I said, "One time I slept really bad. I hit my knee in the bed, so I don't want to take a chance." And he got so bad to me that I made fun of him. But, it was something that, I've never seen anybody who's so dedicated for hockey than Paul. And the chemistry what we had together, we think the hockey same way with the speed and give and goes and stuff. And we are we're like a brother. So it was just so much fun to play because we were almost like one step ahead because we knew exactly where we are. And the hockey was easy with him.
Were you really seeing the growth of hockey? Because it was still new, I guess, in Southern California, and it was the Mighty Ducks, which has turned into the Ducks. But the fan base and the passion for the game, were you seeing it grow down there and the youth program really start to begin?
Absolutely. I think the Ducks took a lot of pride to start the youth program and hockey program for the kids. And, it has been fun to follow how much it has getting better and how much, now we have 50 high school hockey teams in Orange County. And at the time we had only one hockey rink when I got there, and the fans were not so acknowledged about hockey. They were more excited about the fights and Wild Wing and all the show what we had around the game. But little by little they start to understand the game, and even when we won, or way maybe 2000, you start feeling that they are hockey fans, and they take a lot of pride to be good hockey city, and it has been fun to be a part of that. And we all have done a lot of work for that the hockey became bigger and bigger in Southern California. Obviously, Gretzky started that. with the Kings and stuff, and then the Sharks game. And I think Gretzky is the reason why we have a Ducks and Sharks. Like what he has done for hockey, nobody has ever done so much, and so we can really thank him for a lot of things. Good things happened.
I had actually heard, like, I know we talked about the trade, but did you have like knee injuries in Winnipeg at all? Like, I know you talked about it earlier in your, like when you were growing up, how you had those growth spurts. One of the rumors that I had heard is the reason they ended up moving on and you went to Anaheim is they assumed that maybe you wouldn't have the longevity in your career that you ended up having. I mean, you played over 1,400 games and then ended up going back to back, or I think close to 50 goal seasons with Anaheim. So they must have felt like idiots. Was that the case? Did you feel that? Did you hear that?
You know what? I heard same rumors, but it doesn't really make any sense because I was playing so well there, and when I broke my tibia and fibula, and I have a 3 months cast to my groins, and my bones heal a little bit offline. That's why I have problem with my left knee, because there's bone against bone. It's almost like in the cars when you have a tires and the alignment is not straight and you start wearing out inside or outside, and over the time there's no tire left. So pretty much I have same issue, but they knew that it's gonna at least 15 years I can play without issues, and that's what pretty much happened. 2003. I had 2004, I had a big surgery that they have to move the patella a little bit more in the outside where it was a healthy cartilage and stuff. So I don't think that was the issue. I think it was more financial thing that they had to move me, and they said that they had to move one. And then Alexei Zhamnov was playing out of his option year. And Keith Tkachuk got the offer sheet from Chicago. So when you get that, you can't trade the player for 1 year. And I just signed 5-year deal, so it was pretty easy to deal me out if they had to move one player. And I think that's what happened. So I don't think the knee issues were that big of a factor at the time.
Well, when you went to Colorado and you'd been to San Jose and then you go to Colorado, I actually remember hearing like Correa and Selanne signed in Colorado. It was incredible. You guys are going for a cup, and it ended up being a real tough year for you. And you talk about the huge surgery after that, and then luckily the lockout season canceled the next year so you could get healthy. There had to be doubts in your mind though, like, am I ever going to be the same again, right?
Absolutely. The Colorado year, we went there with so high expectations, and then first 5 games, we had a line that Paul, Sakic, and myself, we played unbelievable well. Then Paul got hurt. He broke his wrist. He's out for 4 or 5 months. And then I hurt my knee again, and it was, I was probably like 75, max 80% speed. And that was the only year that I didn't really enjoy hockey. I lost the passion a little bit. But that was a very important year for me because I learned how much I appreciate about hockey, how lucky I am, and how tough it is when you can't play on your own level. And when I went to the knee surgery after that season, I decided that, you know what, if it's not going to be 100%, I'm never going to play again. And I said I'm going to be super honest about that. And then luckily, from my standpoint, we have the lockout, and I had a whole year time to recover from that surgery. It took about 6-7 months when I felt that, and I started skating after 3 months, 4 months, and it hurt. And I many times I came home, I said, I don't think I'm going to play again. And then one day, I came to Finland in April, and I started skating in my local rink here just by myself. And one day I realized, you know what, it doesn't hurt. This is unbelievable.
What a relief.
And I was skating like a wind there, and I said, you know what, this is going to be a happy ending. And I was so, I try to describe people that it's almost, I felt the same way that if you have a really bad eye vision, and the first time you get glasses and you see the world bright. That's how I felt. As you know what, this is unbelievable. I'm like a young buck again, and I knew I'm gonna have fun again. And it's funny. And then we called to Anaheim, and I said I like to come back. And Brian Burke said, we don't have any room in our salary cap. And I said, okay. So then we moved to San Jose. I wanted to go somewhere safe that I feel comfortable to come back. Dougie Wilson said, well, you left, to Colorado, and I don't know if this gonna. I'm gonna ask my owners. I would love you to come back, but then they decided that I don't think we're gonna find the deal. So then we called to LA Kings. And Dave Taylor was a GM, and we all agree money and everything. And I thought it was a done deal. And then my agent said that they're gonna make one more phone call to just make sure that everything is okay. And then next day, I read in the news that they signed Valerie Burr. So I knew that was my spot.
Oh.
So then I said, okay, let's wait. It was the end of August. We don't have to rush, And then Brian Burke called, and his team still want to come, but we have only $1 million to pay. And Don Basie called me and said, they have $1 million. I said, I take it. It was not about the money. I said, I want to come back to Anaheim, especially that's a place where we called first. And then, I came back, I scored 40 goals, 90 points, and, it was just like, was probably a pretty good deal for Brian Burke, but it was more about just enjoying the hockey and getting back in my passion. And then following year, we won the Stanley Cup. So it's, and that was the time when I enjoyed the hockey most. All the 76 goals and all those Maurice Richard trophies, they were great, but when you lose something and you lose the passion and you lose that, you can't enjoy the hockey what you used to love so much. And then when you get back, you put all the other stuff in the side and you just enjoy the game. And obviously, after 2005, I tried to retire every year, 90 years. And but I still kept coming back because it was so much fun, and that last 90 years was by far the most fun, and that I enjoyed the hockey most.
Well, what was so cool about that? So you come out of the lockout, and Scott Niedermayer leaves the Devils to play with his brother Rob. They get you, midway through the season, and you guys go to the Western Conference Finals. You lose to Edmonton, this amazing. I think they were the 8th seed. Chris Pronger's dominating, but you must have seen that, all right, we got Perry Getzlaff for 20 years old. You had this amazing connection with Andy McDonald, one of the most underrated players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then you find out in the summer after losing to Edmonton, we trade for Pronger. That must have been the moment, like, we have exactly what it takes now. Like, going into that season, it was kind of cup or bust for that group, right?
Yeah, it was shocked when I heard that, because we knew that we have a great team, and it's just a one little, missing piece. I always remember Brian Burke asked me in the office after the season and said, obviously you played for $1 million, and you know what? We are one good player away from winning the Stanley Cup. And I know how much money you're worth. And if you're willing to take $3.75 million, I promise you, I spent every dollar for some player to get that. I said, done deal. So then, my birthday, July 3rd, I get the phone call from Alex Gilchrist, our Ducks PR guy. And he's screaming, we got Pronger. I'm like, what? And I thought it was a prank because I didn't even know that Chris Pronger could be available. They just went to the Stanley Cup Finals. They lost Game 7. And I was quiet like 30 seconds. I'm like, what you just said? We got Chris Pronger. I said, no, we didn't. Yeah, I swear to God. I'm like, at that point, I knew that we're going to have an unbelievable chance to win. And, that mission for that year, that next year, I think we only invited 35 5 players max to the training camp. And everybody who came to the training camp, if you were not in that team was there last year, they knew that, you know what, you're not going to make the team. Like, the mission was right away that, you know, let's get going. But still, even that year, as good as we were, I look back and how lucky we were in many ways, that how hard it is to win the cup, and still you have to be lucky, even if you have a great team.
What was it like being like going your rookie year playing with Randy Carlyle and then him being your head coach? Because like Witt's got his stories. Obviously, your
Teemu owned him.
interactions.
He owned him, baby.
Did you run a show? Did you run a
fucking
show?
owned him.
He could be a fucking hard ass, man.
Well,
I've
Teemu,
heard
you
some-
got to tell the story of when you first played with him. Didn't you try getting his number? The guy won the Norris Trophy. He's got this Finnish rookie. Give me your number.
So when I came to Winnipeg my first year, and I was always number 8 in Finland, and I was 13 when I played soccer, but 8 was my number. So then it was more like a joke. I said, I told Randy, but it was so weird to go to Winnipeg because I got offer sheet from Calgary Flames, and I was right away the highest paid player in my team as a rookie. So it was just so weird, and because they didn't sign me in 3 years, I was an unrestricted free agent. We went to San Jose. They wanted to sign me. We said, okay, we think about that. Then we went to Calgary, and Calgary won, and we agreed. We signed the deal, but Winnipeg had a right to match. So they matched right away. And then right away, I was by far the highest scoring player in the team. So then when I came to the team, and maybe after like a couple of weeks, I was joking about Randy that, you know, I give you 25,000 for number 8.
Oh,
Randy's
no.
an old school veteran.
I don't think
Biz.
he
Like,
likes those kind of jokes either.
Yeah, it didn't go very well, you know. So and Randy was very hard for the young guys, and but that was the normal thing at the time, right? So, but like I said earlier, that, you know, we have 3 rookies in the first line, so we were not normal rookies, and I was 22 years old. I was not like, I already play Olympics and Canada Cup and stuff, so I didn't feel I'm like a normal rookie, but he was pretty esteemed here and there with Randy, but. He was super good when I came back, and he said, Teemu, I know what you can do, and if you're healthy, only thing I ask you, if I know what you can do offensively, but if you're first guy back, you have to play defense. I said, absolutely. And but I think it was a good thing that he trusted me, and he saw what I can do, and he gave me very fair opportunity to play well. And I was so happy that, you know, it worked out. And Randy was great. For me, he was a great coach. And he was hard for a lot of players. But I always had a good relationship when he was a coach.
We kind of breezed over San Jose. Did playing for Daryl Sutter almost prepare you for that hard style of coach? Or had you experienced a coach like Daryl Sutter before you got there? Like, I would imagine that he was kind of a different element.
He was, and you know what? I love Daryl. Like his passion for the game. He was more ready for the games than the players. And I always remember he came to the locker room like 3 minutes before we went on the ice, and he went in the middle of the room, and he went on, like, bent over, put hand in the knees, and he was just like. We all like, what's going on? But that was his message, and, you know, guys, we gotta be ready. And he was hard, old school coach, but I always loved those guys because there's no bullshit with them. They tell exactly how things are. The truth hurts, but you have never issues if you do the things what he wants. And if you don't play well, he's the first guy who tells you that. Hey, you're not playing well, and especially for the young guys. If you don't play, I think the worst coach is that the coach that he doesn't tell why you're not playing. He was always the young guys like, you're not playing because you're soft in the front of the net or whatever. So at least you knew what you have to get better, what you have to do better to get back in the lineup. a lot of times, the coaches, they don't tell, there's no communication between players and the coaches. And that's the worst thing to do, because then they are confused. I remember so many, my teammates, young guys or the guys who didn't play, they asked my advice about what I should do. I said, go talk to him. Like you earn to know why you're not playing. And hopefully they are honest, like that's, I always say truth hurts, but that's only way to get better, and those old school coaches, they really did that job. And I respect that.
Teemu, along with this legendary NHL career, we haven't even mentioned you have the most points in the history of the Olympic men's ice hockey event. And you have 3 bronze medals and a silver. Now, 2006, what in a matchup. It was the NHL and Sweden, Finland. I think Lidstrom scored early in the third and probably crushing for you guys. But what do you remember about that tournament and how well you played and just having a chance to win an Olympic gold?
Yeah, I think that was the best national team that I ever played. We were so solid in every area, and we beat everybody until the final. And the key thing for Finnish hockey and national team is when we go there, we don't have 4 first lines. We have everybody has a right away the role that they accept, that they will do that as good as they can. If you play that 5 minutes or 25 minutes, they take the pride to do the best minutes what they can. That's why I always said I always use when I talk my teammates in the little speech that you guys, Canada, they have 4 first lines. There's a lot of people, they're not happy. They all want to be in the first power play. So let's use that advantage. Let's try to get them to frustrated, because if there's Sidney Crosby playing 4th line or 3rd line, he's not going to be happy. He needs that. They don't have the same, well, maybe this is not the right way to say that, but same kind of pride to play 3rd or 4th line role that we have. So let's take advantage of that. A lot of times it works, and that 2016 was so solid, and we beat Canada, we beat USA, we beat Czech, we beat Russia, we beat everybody. And then in the beginning of the 3rd period, we got the penalty, and Saku's stick broke in the face-off, and now all of a sudden it's a 5-3. So then they scored, and it was 2-1, and then we tried so hard, and we had all kind of chances in the end, but Lundqvist was standing on his head and stuff, but that was the greatest tournament that I played for Finnish hockey. And but like you said, I played 6 Olympics, and every Olympics were different, and obviously getting 4 medals 5 times when the NHL players were allowed, and that's something that Finnish hockey can be very proud, And I could never imagine that I'm going to play so many Olympics. A whole career, I look back and I said, if somebody would really tell me when I was like young boy that what kind of career I would have, I would say, fuck off, it can't be right. It can't be right, It's just it's a fantasy,
Who are the Finnish greats outside of you? Like, who are the people that are maybe on the Mount Rushmore of Finnish hockey?
Overall?
Yeah, overall. I mean, you got to play in 6 Olympics. I would imagine a few of your teammates might have been. There might have been people before you guys who paved the way, who you looked up to and idolized. Like, who are the main guys in Finland that everybody is like, that guy's on the Mount Rushmore?
Well, I think Jari Kurri has been always my idol. And obviously we are very good friends. We played Anaheim together. We played the Olympics in Nagano together. What he has done, he's like a Wayne Gretzky for hockey in Finland. What he has done, to help younger players, it's just remarkable. And of course, we all try to do our jobs, but Jari has been the biggest thing. But the one thing what really helped us in the national teams, that like we had a line like Saku Koivu, Jere Lehtinen, Teppo Numinen, Kimmo Timonen. That line was Janne Niinimaa. We had that line like pretty much like 15 years. And, we like when we went there, it was almost unfair because there's not many young players who could break into the national team. Our core was so strong. And, but right away when we went to play the tournaments, we have to find the chemistry or who is playing with who. Everybody knew the lines even before we went there, and it was so much easier to play that way, and that was our advantage for sure. But like obviously, Jari Kurri is the guy that I look up to when I was younger, and I learned a lot of things, and I always try to find and learn something from the guys that I like to be the same kind of player. I watch how they score the goals. I like how they read the game, and I always try to learn from those great players how I gonna get better by using and analyzing how they do things. I always tell the young players to just watch YouTube, just try to figure out what kind of player you are, and try to find somebody who plays same style and who you want to be, and just learn from them. It's not so complicated. You learn a lot from those guys.
You mentioned the pride of the national team and you getting to represent them that often, but like the 1980 U.S. Miracle on Ice team, like a lot of people think when they beat the Russians it was the gold medal, but they faced Finland. So you were 10 years old. Like, do you remember watching that? Was that on TV for you? That might have been the beginning for you of dreaming that big, right?
Yes. The only thing, it was a black and white TV, but I was watching it. And it was a miracle, because the thing is, like, college players, whole team, US team was like a college players, and then I always remember that they played the one exhibition game before the tournament against Russia, and they lost like 11-2 or something. I watched the movie Miracle. It's a great movie, but like you said, I think it was last game against Finland. I think USA won 3-2 to clinch the Olympic.
They were losing going into the third.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know what? That was I always remember that. My dad said that. You know what? These kind of things make the sports the greatest, because you never know what's going to happen. It was a miracle, and that's why the sport is what it is.
I would assume that hoisting the Stanley Cup, was that your greatest hockey achievement? I mean, what like the celebration and getting to enjoy it with all those teammates and all that must have been such a great time, and just maybe allude to that. Yeah,
the thing is, obviously I had to wait 15 years to even get the chance, and there's a lot of times that I lost hope and believe that because I haven't been even close, first, second round, and then people have no idea how hard it is to win the Stanley Cup. And if you look at the list that the players, unbelievable great players, Hall of Famers, that they have never won the Stanley Cup, there's a reason for that. It's so hard. You have to be in the right place, right time, and you still have to have a great team and get lucky here and there. And obviously, after 50 years, I always remember that when the buzzer came off, and it's almost, I always remember that when Rangers won 93, and this old guy in the stands, and he has a sign that 54 years, now I can die in peace. I got same feeling that, you know what, finally, now I don't care what happened, I won it, and this is the crown for my career and everything. So it was just like something, it's hard to describe, and 2 months war. I always remember that how tired you are after that last match. And you're so tired that you don't have even energy to party. And after the game, we decided that tomorrow everybody's going to stay home, and then the following day, let's get together. Maybe some guys, younger guys, get together right away, and maybe they didn't sleep at all. But you're so exhausted mentally and physically, and it's hard to describe how it's how big war it's, especially mentally. Like every second day you play, and you leave every game, you leave everything out there, and how beat it up we were. We had like 10 guys waiting that tornado shot before the games and stuff, and it's just like there's nothing you could nothing that you could not do it to get ready. If you're hurt, you better be so hurt not to be able to play. So it's it's a war.
You mentioned that you go back to Finland now a couple months every year. Like, were you and your wife able to become American citizens?
Yes,
Nice.
we did that 4 months ago.
Oh, congrats!
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if Biz has anything more. This has just been amazing.
Later in your Ducks years, Bruce Boudreau took over, and this is another one you told him. And he was a very lighthearted coach, and you could mess around with him a little bit. And there was one prank that you had on him that we thought was pretty funny, and we were hoping that you could retell that story for our listeners who didn't catch the sandbagger.
Oh, the Gretzky one.
The Gretzky one. This is an all-timer.
Oh God! So right when Bruce came, we are out of the playoffs. We are in Vancouver, and after the one night, next morning we have a game day, and in the morning, Bruce telling that how unbelievable night it was. I met Wayne Gretzky, and I had a couple of beers with him, and he was he just kept telling the story how great it was. He was like a little kid, And then on the way to the hotel, I said, you know what? I have Bruce's number, so I'm gonna text him. He doesn't know it's me, but so I was texting to be away, and I said, "Hi, Bruce. What a great night! I have so much fun with you, and I admire your coaching style and everything. And hopefully we can do this again." So then, and we are watching. Like he started texting right away back, and
he's at the front of the bus, just loving it.
And I told everyone like what I'm doing, and then he said, "Oh, it was one of my greatest nights ever. You have been my hero and blah blah." And then I said, "What do you guys do? Are you guys staying in the city? Like maybe we can go beer again?" "Yes, no, you just name the place. I'll be there. No problem. Do you need tickets for the game?" "No, I got tickets. I'm okay, but I can watch. But have a good game, and I'll text you after. Let's go have a couple of beers." So then we go to the pregame meal, and I'm still texting. Which kind of place you like to go tonight? And he said, "It doesn't matter to me." Blah blah. So then I go there, take a nap, and I said, "How am I gonna break this? Like, I have to tell him that this is not true, So then we go to the game, and then I said, "So Bruce, you really want to meet tonight?" I said, "Yes." "Okay, come back in the bus." So then you should see his face, how disappointed he was.
He's at the front of the bus. He reads the text and he looks back, and all you guys just start busting out laughing.
Yeah, I felt so bad, but he took that really well, and it was pretty funny. But I felt sorry because he was so proud of that moment. He had a couple of beers with Gretzky, and so. Yeah, so but Bruce was great. I have a lot of respect that even he didn't believe that that I should play that much, but he was. I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, you guys there was a little bit of a falling out because he started limiting your ice time, and I remember that it got a little bit shaky there. I mean, even we were hearing rumblings that there was something going on, but it's water under the bridge now. You guys kind of hashed it out, and that's the end of it.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I tried to ask him like why I'm not playing and stuff, and he had no answers. And I started wondering like this doesn't make any sense, And then a couple of years after, when I retired, he finally told me that it was not his decision; it was GM's decision. I said, "Why didn't you tell me? I was busting your balls, and I was." Being very vocal even in the media that so and you never told me that it was not your decision. And he said, "You know what, if I would tell you, you would go to GM and I would get fired." And well, anyway,
you're probably right.
Yeah, I'm happy that he said that, so at least I know that it was not him, because it was a weird situation. Because there's one time that I only played. Well, first of all, like last year, I played the first 12, 13 games. I played normal 17 minutes a game. I was leading scorer in my team, and all of a sudden, I went to second line to third line. First power play to second power play, and what's going on? Like, it doesn't make any sense, you know. But we had a great team. I didn't want to make any number of that. And then finally, I 2 months later, I went to the Bruce and I said, Bruce, give me a chance. If you don't believe I can play, give me a chance. And they were hard time to find the left winger for Getzi and Perry. So I said, put me with Getzi and Perry give me 3 games. If I don't play well, I retire. But just give me a chance. So he said, well, I give you I tell you after the pregame meal. I said, okay, awesome, thank you. So obviously he had to talk with GM who made a final decision. And he said, okay, you can have 3 games. We are in Colorado. I'm the first star in the game. We go to San Jose. I'm the first star in the game. 3rd game, of the first period, I'm in the 3rd line. And I'm like, I asked 3 games. I played just 2 games. I had 5 points. And now I'm in the 3rd line. So I knew there's something weird. And but I have never been the guy who would go and make a number of that. I just, swell all those things. And but then on the playoffs, we got a little heated up when they benched me 1 game. And again, it was not his decision, but he didn't tell me that it was not his decision. So I wish he could tell me at the time, but luckily at least he told me afterwards, and it's all good now, you know.
And was that in your last year? And hanging him up, you just had enough. You knew it was time, and that was it.
Yeah, I think it was my last year anyway. But and the thing is, and I really tried to motivate myself to play in Sochi. And my national team coach, I met him in Tampa Bay, and he came to watch some Finnish players in the NHL, and he said, "You're gonna be the captain. You're gonna be in the first line. So just stay motivated, you know." And I'm so happy to hear that. And I did all the extra to be ready in Sochi, and we won the bronze there. I was MVP in the tournament. And then when I got back, I played even less than before. So I just say, this is unbelievable. But, obviously, maybe they thought that, if I'm going to have another good year, I will play 1 more year. So, and I knew there's young players that they have to start getting in. But still, it felt at the time that it was not fair. But it's all good now. And I'm happy, actually, I retired in the perfect time.
My last question for you is, a lot of guys, we mentioned after retirement, it can be difficult, but you have so much stuff going on. You're outdoors, you're playing all these different sports and all the F1 enjoyment. Was it not too hard for you? Was there no really moment of being sad or a little bit depressed once it all ended?
You know what? I was like, there hasn't been one day that has been boring. I first of all, 10 years when I retired, and the time goes so fast, and I really enjoy to be busy, but my own terms. And like you guys know that when you play and you play with other people's schedule, and now you don't have to have that schedule. You make your own schedule. You enjoy so much, and I love to be active, and I love to keep moving, and it has been so much fun. And that's why, I try to experience new things like this movie. And it was fun, but I don't know what's the next adventure, but I can't stay still. I don't want to stay still. I want to be active and enjoy the things. And it has been fun.
Teemu, it's been awesome having you on, but there's stuff we didn't even cover, but we could talk for 5 hours and not even touch it all. You had such an illustrious career, buddy. So we appreciate your time. You're a legend of the game, and congratulations on all your success and your future endeavors as well, buddy. So we'll have to get you on down the road as well, and maybe a rematch in the Sandbagger.
Hey, anytime, anywhere, we are ready. And by the way, like I said last time, what you guys do, I love your show. My family loves the show. Just keep up the good work. And even now, I'm shocked at how much things you knew about me. So you guys do the things right, So well done.
I appreciate it, Teemu. Thank you so much for coming on, and have a great rest of the summer.
Thanks. You too, guys.
Boys, we actually forgot to get to the speeding ticket story with Teemu. lucky for us, he did tell the story in the Sandbagger video we did with him and JR. So go watch the video now. It's available on all video platforms. And 2, here's the clip of Teemu telling the story.
Was it you who got the crazy ticket in Finland?
Yeah,
Yes.
55,000.
No
Explain the
shit.
rule, Teemu.
That's a real thing.
So it's based on your income. So the Finns, they think it's fair. That more you make, more you're gonna suffer. I understand that a little bit with the taxes, but if you don't have a job and you drive 55 miles limit 75, you get $150, and I make more money and I get 150,000.
Did you have to
That
pay
is
it?
insane.
Oh yeah, of course.
Did you try to fight it?
No, there's nothing you can do.
So how much were you driving over?
One time I was driving 55 miles limit, 70, and one
That's
One
not
time I
bad.
got the rally car accident, which we rented private road. This farmer's private road, and so they said that because we didn't call the police and just let them know that we are practicing there, I got $55,000.
Oh my God.
And 2 other guys who were also there, they got $350 and $450, and I got $55K.
Oh my God.
That hurt.
I don't think it's fair, Teemu.
No, I don't think either.
Thank you so much to Teemu Selanne. Biz, what I really took out of that, and now granted, he'd made a lot of money, but Brian Burke saying to him, like, hey, if you take $3.6 million after scoring 90 points this year, we can add the piece we need, no problem. So when you hear a lot of these guys, and I respect making as much money as you can make, I do, but there is another side to being somebody who's willing to sacrifice how Crosby and Malkin did for all those years for an extra body or two. So I thought that was really cool, but what a great
You know what I
interview.
took out of it? Anytime you want a player in your organization to break a record, you threaten him to send him to the minors, and then he'll do it at home. That's what I really took out of that.
7 goals in the next 2 games. I would say
47 goals. You ever been saying to the old lady, have you ever been to Moncton is nuts. That
was the meanest thing I've ever heard a GM do. To find a wife at like a Winnipeg dog park and be like, hey, you ever seen Moncton on a map? My husband
Popping out
has
of a
47
dumpster.
goals.
You ever been to Moncton? We got a Maya culpa.
We have an immediate Maya culpa.
We got to call Fish on because Fish got a haircut. He went to
Fish, let's see that haircut.
No, he went to like a crackhead dude. The guy got fired on the spot, and the owner of the shop took over the haircut.
No, and then the mirrors in front of Fish
Look
just
at that
smashed
bowl
right as he
cut.
finished.
Brutal. It was brutal.
You look like you were born in Russia.
You look like an extra in like a movie about drug
Chernobyl.
addicts down south.
Chernobyl.
I look like a British UK drill rapper.
Yeah, you look like a KHLer.
Okay, so
Fish,
what?
Fish hopped on and corrected us. What is the term?
Autophagy.
Autophagy, not
All right.
autophagy.
I want to get rid of my autophagies immediately. This is like hooked on phonics podcasting right now.
I want to hear the story of Fish going to the barber. You got to got him back on here. So tell us
Fish.
what happened here.
You should have just
I've
shaved it.
I literally walked into this place and I was like, all right, just trim off the ends. Like, I just want to trim off the dead ends. I had pretty long hair. This guy takes like a razor and just shaves the side of my head. So I'm like, whoa, like, no way. Like, I know
In
this
shock.
is wrong. Like, and he's like, trust
Basic
me,
training
trust me.
time.
He's going, trust me. I'm like, no, like, I know this isn't right. Owner comes over and he's like, get out of here. Like, just get out of here. Takes him and just kicks him out of the store. Like, he's just gone. So the owner comes over and he's like, I'll fix you up. And he's like, well, you got to go short because now you have like an undercut. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing an undercut. I'm not doing like a mullet. I could have done a mullet maybe, but I was like, yeah, just go short, and gave me the haircut for free. But I was like, this is brutal.
I mean, you think if he charged you for that, you could take him to fucking court, dude. But Fish, I actually think in like a week with some product in it, it could look not bad.
Yeah, my girlfriend's not happy. I'll leave it at that.
Oh no, He can't piss off the old lady.
If I brought home one of the kids with that haircut, I'd be served divorce papers so fast your head would spin.
But remember when I went and remember when Katie goes, hey, I found a barber for you. He's great. And I went there and I showed you guys the picture. One side was like 3 inches longer than the next. I was in shock. I couldn't believe. I was in the chair shaking. I wanted to knock this guy out so bad. So it was kind of similar. Now you're saying this guy seemed to be banged up. He got tossed.
He was on something for sure. Like the guy had no idea what he was doing.
Wow.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing the story and thanks for the mea culpa.
No problem, boys.
To Fujay. Jay.
Hi, girl.
Not much hockey news, Biz. I noticed that the Montreal Canadiens, they signed a few guys.
Wi-Fi.
Well, yeah, but first off, the big deal was Caden Goulet.
No.
Goulet. I hope I'm saying that
No, it was
correct.
Wi-Fi.
Not a small deal, I should say. $5.5 million, 6-year contract. So they're locking up a guy who they think will be a top 4 defenseman for a long time. And then the Wi-Fi news comes in. I saw the Wi-Fi deal, $1.3 million for 2 years. What a deal that is.
Yeah, I think that's a steal for him for sure. Last year, he did get sent down to the minors for a little bit. I don't know if it was like some form of a conditioning stint, but I think it's a nice little bridge deal where he'll have the next couple years. The team will be getting better and better, and then maybe he can get his pop after that. I mean, this is a guy who can throw the body. Obviously, he's tough as shit. He'll block shots. He's got an absolute cannon from the back end. So he's kind of like a fifth, sixth defenseman where, hey, if he gets a couple good opportunities, like it could be a year where he's got 10, 12 goals. Like he's kind of got that Sheldon Surrey type bomb. So I'm happy for the kid. And as this heavyweight division becomes more prevalent, to have a defenseman back there who can not only be relied upon in a steady Eddie, but if anything happens to any of these smaller players or skilled players you have in the lineup, because Montreal, they got some smaller guys there. Yeah. I mean, they got, Suzuki, Cole, Lane Hudson, who just came in. So there's some small guys on that roster where you can have a guy stand up for him and be as tough as he is, because I would consider him easily probably in the top 5 right now in the heavyweight division in the NHL, if not top 10. But to have a guy of that size and that young who is that willing, he'll be top 5 in no time if he ain't already there. So as far as the other guy, Whit, I know that they're very high on him there. I couldn't tell you a thing about him. I know more about Wi-Fi than this kid that they just hand over $5.5 million to. So what type of a defenseman is he?
I don't know that much either, and this is a little embarrassing, but I'll also defend ourselves in a little bit of a way that Montreal, they've not been front page news that often lately. And with this show, we're talking about all these teams and teams that are successful. And granted, there's times we talk about Montreal, but I haven't seen enough of Caden Goulet. I think responsible defensively. I don't think he's going to be like running their power play, but they have Lane Hudson, who seems like he'll be able to do that. So maybe just overall a solid top 4 defenseman who can play 22 minutes, who can PK and can move the puck out of his own zone. Now, maybe Canadiens fans are flipping out right now because we don't know that much, but show us some more wins, show us competing for a playoff spot, and we're going to learn a lot more about your new long-term signed defenseman. That's how this works. Correct, Biz?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Montreal's fan base is hardcore. The fact that,
and I love that, and I love that.
I love it too. And then they sometimes pop by when we have a guy on, and the fact that we're not giving him a double wrister, saying that he's going to be the next Brian Leach. Sometimes they get a little offended by that, but they also said that about Slavkovsky. Now they're going to say, "Oh, did you see the second half of the season he had, and what his projected numbers are?" It's like, a lot of teams say this about a lot of young guys who, the projections are here, but they never pan out. So let's pump the brakes. I'm happy for the kid for getting his bag. And now that he got this bag, I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to him moving forward. And the Montreal Canadiens, because I think expectations are high, but buddy, they're in the fucking Atlantic Division. It might be fucking 3-4 more years before they even sniff playoffs. Like right. I would put my money on they finish bottom 2 in that division for the next 2 years. Like, give me that future right now and I'll take it. But if Buffalo finishes behind them, fire everybody in the organization, right? Buffalo's
Who would you rather be right now, Montreal or Ottawa? Not just for this season, like right now. If you could become the GM on one of those two teams, who are you going to be?
I think I would actually pick Montreal.
I think I would pick Montreal in a landslide.
Yeah, because there's been more of this excitement that we haven't necessarily seen yet, where Ottawa, it seems like, okay, all their guys that we've heard about and talked about are there, and they kind of haven't really figured out, and not to just put the blame on them, maybe it's a matter of putting the guys around them, kind of like Buffalo, where I think like the main guys in Buffalo, sure, they just haven't been able to sprinkle enough in between in order to get over that hump, where I feel like in a few years, Montreal could be dangerous. But I could also be buying into this hype train, which is their media and their prospects are always the best. Come on. Think of how many guys, like same with Toronto, that they build up, and then like no offense, is it Mete?
Victor Mete, the little defenseman.
Bro, I thought that this guy was going to be the next fucking Duncan Keith, the way that they were stroking him off in the early days. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you just kind of get bought.
They have Fowler. It's that fucking Boston
The
College
goaltender.
goalie,
Yeah, the
Fowler.
goaltender. Yeah.
He might
he's the
be,
next Patrick Waugh.
He might, but like,
Oh, here
when
we
I
go.
I think of this guy just dominating everywhere he goes, and he's going to be in the NHL at some point, and then they have a new star goalie, as Montreal always has over all these years. So
You've been brainwashed.
I think part of it is the city of Montreal and what a great city it is. I apologize to Ottawa Senators fans, especially the Martian, the guy on Twitter who hates Grinelli's guts so much. I can't take the Senators serious until they get out of that arena in the middle of a field. You put an arena downtown Ottawa and it's just in a different location, maybe even change your jerseys. I think the Senators are at a place where they could jersey overhaul it.
They did.
No, like overhaul.
Oh, okay. Not just a couple color schemes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't take the Ottawa Senators seriously. And I was a guy who got outshot in game 1 of the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, 20-0 by the Ottawa Senators, and saw the craziest, loudest fan base I'd seen as an NHL player. So I know the passion's there, and I know the fan base is proud, but that arena in the middle of a field and this organization's last few years has me just out. I'll come back
I would say that they would say that their issue is more goaltending last year than the fact that the rink is in a farm 30 minutes outside of town. Because we read over the stat, this is probably going back a few months ago. They allowed the first shot of the game on them went in the net like 13 or maybe even closer to 20 times this year, where the first shot on net that they allowed ended up going in the back of their net. So very tough way to start a game, starting behind the 8 ball, and they really couldn't get many saves. So the fact that they have Allmark coming there, that could be a massive change for that organization. Now, do I think that he can bring them to the promised land? I don't know. But we're right back to the same fucking dilemma we were last year. Montreal, not so much. What's going on with Detroit? What's going on with Buffalo? What's going on with Ottawa? So we don't need to get into it too much right now, but that's all I got. That's really all I got for Hockey Talk.
The last Hockey Talk I will mention is that saw an interesting interview piece with Doug Wilson, who mentioned that it was a mistake, and looking back, a fuck up in not bringing back Joe Pavelski to the San Jose Sharks when he moved on to Dallas. They chose not to sign him. He went on to Dallas the next 5 years. I think he had 125 goals. And I think it's pretty cool when you see former GMs kind of own up to mistakes. And there is not a coach or a GM in pro sports that doesn't have numerous things they regret that happen in their career. And hopefully you hit more home runs than have ground outs or strikeouts. But Pavelski moving on and them deciding to move on it didn't make sense at the time. And his production as it continued in Dallas, it just proved that it was a mistake to let go of him.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because it kind of reminds me of Teemu's situation a little bit, where I'm sure like certain times teams are like, okay, we're moving on from this guy at the right time. It's like, he's had this much production over this many years. Like there's going to be a decline coming here. And then it's just like, he just keeps doing what he's been doing. That was the same for Pavelski, for Teemu in a lot of ways. And like you said, even taking less money after having 90 points to continue to do it the next year. It's just like, I marvel at the fact that these guys were able to do it as long as they did, and just kind of sustain the test of time. And that's cool. I like that he came out and said that, and good little story.
And then last thing I'll note is that Team Canada head coach John Cooper, he rounded out his staff for the Four Nations face-off.
Yep.
What a roster of coaches here. John Cooper as head coach with Rick Tocchet as an assistant, Pete DeBoer as an assistant, Bruce Cassidy, and Misha Donskov, who I do not know who that is. I guess he worked with Vegas and now is Dallas, maybe? If you want to check that out quick. But I love Talk there. Talk makes a lot of sense. And then Pete DeBoer, that guy is just a winner. And,
The dream team. They got the dream team in that coach's office.
I guess I'm calling DeBoer a winner. He doesn't have a Stanley Cup, correct?
He's a winner. I don't.
But he's
give
a winner.
fuck.
That's
He's a
people
winner.
would say, "Oh, what do you mean winner? He hasn't won the cup." But the guy wins.
He's
so,
won
yeah.
a couple Memorial Cups.
Yeah. So I cannot wait for that Four Nations face-off. It really gives me a crazy excitement to this season because end of January through February, at least doing our job, it's just like it's a little bit of a grind for the players, for the coaches, for the fans, even. Now we have this like mid-season best on best. Granted, I know we don't have Czech. I know we don't have Slovakia. I know we don't have some other amazingly talented players. Draisaitl won't be in the tournament, but we have a little, it's just a little appetizer to the following year. And we have discussed as a group, everyone listening, we want to try to get over to the Olympics, get over to Italy for what should be the most legendary best on best tournament maybe we've ever seen, because it had been so long since players played in the Olympic Games. So maybe the following year we can get over to Italy and take that in and maybe do some coverage.
I'm
going to
be competing. I'm going to be doing the
you're
skiing
shooting.
and shooting. Skiing
I'm
and shooting.
doing brain cleaning exercises, so I could be in
nice.
the mix too. Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you so much, everyone who listened, and thank you to Teemu Selanne. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview as much as we enjoyed doing it. We did it right before we recorded, so we finished that and then we hopped right back on. So I'm running on a high of getting to talk to him for that long. Yeah.
Well, not to get too auto faggy here, but it was a great episode, Whit. I mean,
I love you, buddy,
great snap.
and I love all you
too.
people listening, and thanks for sticking with us throughout these summer months. We'll be back to you next week. I got the Fallon Cup this week, the big member guest. My biggest event, my biggest, most exciting time in my golfing life is every year at the Fallon Cup. As of right now, it looks like a washout. We got Hurricane Debbie coming up the coast, so I'm going to need that thing. I know,
Fucking
Debbie Downer. They never did find the anthrax guy. But hopefully it gets pushed out to the East Coast and to the sea, and we can enjoy a fun weekend of golf at Wollaston Golf Club. So I'm looking forward to that, and if it rains, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just fast instead. So love all you guys. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.